Hello, listening people.
Ho, ho, ho!
Ho, 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 indeed, Bartek. It is December, the time of our Lord and Savior, Ryan Sliwinski, the host of Spit and Polish Presents.
I was gearing up to say your name since you said mine, but you beat me to it.
You know, I'm the patron saint of podcasts, and you are my faithful servant, Bartek.
I'm also a patron saint.
Of being a servant to me.
No.
Yeah, I think that's right. So listening
I'm
people,
a patron
hello.
saint of juxtaposition between sponges and lamps.
Okay, guys, we're Spin Polish, likingly because we're always spitting, and we both happen to be Polish. And on our show, Unappreciated Masterpieces...
And saints, apparently.
We can be Polish and saints. What, are you saying Polish people aren't saints? Hear that, Poland? One of your own is betraying you. Oh, it's not like I've talked shit about you in other episodes,
When
Poland.
I said and, I meant on top of.
So you're saying the Polish people are nothing but bottoms?
Not in spite of.
We are clearly tops, bottom. We're not bottoms, we
Ryan.
are clearly tops.
Ryan, you didn't get the memo.
We are power bottoms? We generate power from the bottom?
Yeah.
Good. So, Bartek, we all know the Polish people are clearly bears, but they could be otters too. But Bartek, we're doing our show Unappreciated Masterpieces, in which we do a feature commentary track for a movie that seemingly doesn't deserve one. But
Feature length, even.
Feature length. We say, hey, guys, every film is a piece of art. Every film has something meaningful to say. Every film has a nugget of truth, a nugget of wisdom, and all those nuggets add up to a piece of art. And we want to analyze and delve in and appreciate the piece of art that is whatever piece of cinema we are covering in the episode. Bartek?
Okay, but I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So I found this video on YouTube, this episode.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so, and I'm watching it, and it's just a still image of, our logo and stuff. When does the movie start so I can watch it?
Oh, that's okay. I'll do a countdown later on.
Okay, good. Because if I don't see the movie, I'm leaving a dislike.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Right, yeah.
Bartek, I need to know what the movie is. You have to tell me.
If I must, you've gone a long time without asking me to say what the movie is.
Okay,
Ryan,
good.
So I'll let you off this time.
You better.
This episode we are doing Ukryte Piękno.
Sorry, repeat that one again.
We are doing Ukryte Piękno.
Ukryte?
Ukryte Piękno.
Piękno.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fair enough. So
that was all right pronunciation.
I know, I nailed it. So guys, get your copy of Ukryte Piękno and get it ready.
Okay, now that was bad.
Get your copy of Harry Carey. No, whatever other words I want to use. I don't know what you're saying. Bartek, is that English?
Well, I know because you couldn't pronounce it.
What is it? What language are you speaking? Because I'm speaking English. That wasn't English.
It was in the national language of spit and Polish and power bottoms.
Oh, Polish. Right. There's that. We went through this in an episode before, but there was like this secret gay language that people used to use at the turn of the century. So,
okay, I think I remember us talking.
So we're using that gay language? Is that what we're using? Because we're power bottoms?
That doesn't mean gay. Just means you're a power bottom.
You're true on that, but we are both...
I'm true.
You are true on that. But, okay, you're right. You don't have to be gay to be a power bottom, but you definitely have to be gay to be a bear. Now, Bartek, translate that into English, the title.
Ukryte Piękno means hidden beauty.
Hidden beauty?
Yeah.
Now, this could be many movies that are combined together. This could be Hidden Figures meets Beauty and the Beast. Hidden Beauty.
Hidden Beast.
No.
That's a completely different film.
Beast Figures. That would be the name.
He looked like a beast, but he was.
Yeah. Trump? We're talking about you, buddy. We're going to at you on this one.
Hidden Trump.
No, he's the hidden beast, but actually he's not hidden. He's out in the public eye. Bartek, we're doing hidden figures? Well, what are we doing? I forgot.
No, Ryan, we're not doing hidden figures. In fact, the film doesn't even have hidden in the title.
Oh.
It's Collateral Beauty.
Collateral Beauty? Well,
from 2016.
With Will Smith?
Will Smith.
He's back again. He's back again trying to win an Oscar. But we need someone who said, hey, no Oscar for Will Smith. What I'm saying is we need a judge from the Oscars that was totally voting on white people that year. Hashtag guest is so white. Hashtag Oscars are so white.
What is it called? The Academy of Motion Pictures or whatever?
Yeah. We're joined by Luke Peverelle.
Hey, listeners. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 indeed. I accidentally, but not on purposely, picked a Christmas movie for this episode.
And what a Christmas movie it is,
I
guys.
had no idea.
You know what? When I was looking at comments afterwards, someone mentioned, like, this is a good Christmas film. It's like, oh, what a coincidence. We're doing everything Christmas. And then I realized, oh, wait, Christmas was in the film.
Yeah, it was. So, guys, at home, you have to get a copy of the film Collateral Beauty from the year 2016 with the great star, Michael Peña.
I'm clapping off.
Yes,
From
off
Observe and Report.
Clap, he's a Scientologist. Clap, 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 clap.
Didn't know that. Is he a Scientologist?
He's one of the highest ranking.
Well, I'll be.
Yeah, you
I'm
will.
surprised he's allowed to be in Hollywood and do that acting thing.
Oh, they own Hollywood, baby. Tom Cruise, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood.
No.
I
It's a
know.
conspiracy, I tell you.
When you said that acting thing, I'm like, what acting thing? You mean acting?
You know, that acting nonsense.
What a harsh critique of Michael Peña. Acting? He does that? I thought that was just him. It's a documentary.
I loved him in
No,
The
I thought from what I interpreted as like he has an acting style that Scientologists don't use. I'm like, what is this?
Look, to be fair,
Being Latino, that's
I started that sentence, and then halfway through I was like, oh yeah, Tom Cruise.
So, and let's not forget Nancy Cartwright.
And Tron Travolta.
Tron.
Is that like the better built robot of John Travolta? I am
No.
John Travolta.
No, it's even nuggetier.
Oh,
And it has more hair.
Not hard to do these days.
And
I
the
know.
voice actress of Bart Simpson too. Yeah.
I said Nancy Cartwright.
Yeah, he
Oh,
said
you
Nancy
did.
Cartwright.
I'm sorry.
Listen to me, Bartek, for fucking once.
Anyone
Listen
would
to
think
me.
he was some kind of Scientologist.
So, guys,
Oh, and Michael
get-
Peña.
Get your, oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Fun fact.
Fun fact, Michael Peña. So, guys, get your copy of the film,
Start your
because I'm going to
copies.
do a countdown from 3. I'm going to say play. You're going to press play at the same time, and hopefully we'll be lined up as we speak about Collateral Beauty. So get ready, because I'm going to start this in 3, 2, 1, play.
Hold on to your butts.
So, everyone, what's our history with this film?
My history of this film is only a few days old.
Really, do tell.
Well, I watched it in preparation for today's podcast. And, well, it had a... let's not fuck around. It has a star-studded lineup. It's got Helen Mirren.
Yeah, you just did an impression of her for some reason.
Yes,
Just
I
said,
did.
a couple of days ago, I was in Red too.
Which I still need to see, by the way.
Why?
So I went in with... Because I love the first one.
Helen Mirren's in
And
it,
I
Ryan.
need all my love for the first one to be destroyed by a
Okay.
shitty sequel.
So you were telling me you watched this a couple of days ago. So you watched it for this podcast, of course.
I
But
sure
had
did.
you heard of it before?
I had a vague recollection because, see...
Recollection?
Because the problem with my brain is it tends to get things muddled up. So this movie and, if you recall, £8 kind of got...
£7.
£7 kind of
yeah.
got crossed, so to speak. So when I was watching this, I'm like, wait, doesn't he like walk away from someone's house in the rain? No, I
mean,
guess
he
not.
does-
There's a vegetarian dog
What?
Something like that.
in £7.
I've never seen £7.
Okay.
Is that the one where he's like, "Hey, it's me, and I want
He's
to kill
talking
myself"?
to a lot of people. I don't know what he does.
It's the one
in
where
film
he's
now.
giving his organs to people.
Oh, is that the one with the
Oh.
jellyfish?
Have you seen it, Bartek?
Yeah, I saw it in
Oh,
cinemas.
you need to tell me what it's about.
Hey guys,
sometime.
look, he's playing Hitch.
Oh, look at Will Smith in his purple shirt.
Hey guys, Will Smith is an incredible actor and YouTuber now, for some reason.
Well, he knows where the money is, I guess.
Well, yep.
Yeah.
So you had muddled it up with other Will Smith motivational movie. Okay, fair enough. I'll let you off on that one. But what about you, Bartek? What about you? What's your history with this?
This is one of the films, in the context of us doing this podcast, it's been on the list for a long time, and it's one of the ones that,
Since it was released in cinemas, basically, it was on the list.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it in the old studio, so that tells me right there it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one that, like, I didn't remember the title of it specifically, I just remembered, oh, there's that film where this happens, and then when Ryan said, we're finally doing Collateral Beauty, I'm like, which one's that? And then you just basically gave me, like, the one with Will Smith and the subordinates, I'm like, oh, that one, right, finally.
Yeah, it's like Will Smith plus 8.
Yeah.
£8?
Plus 6, so we
that's
make
not-
£7.
Eddie Norton and Kate Winslet both stellar.
Eddie
yeah.
Norton.
Yeah, Eddie Norton was around my house the other day.
And Mike Peña.
No,
No.
not Mike Peña.
Mickey Peña.
Mickey and Eddie were around my house for margaritas. I don't know why I sound like
You know,
Christopher
look-
Walken. all
Kate
of a
gets
sudden.
Kate, though. She doesn't get Katie
What am
or
I gonna-
Kay.
Kay? Yeah, cool,
I like,
okay.
what can I call it? Oh, there's many options, dude.
I mean, I would have gone with Catherine, but...
Catherine. Well, Kate's not always short for Catherine, though.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
I'm presumptuous.
Leave it. 3 years later.
Guys, it's
so
3
there's
years.
no ambiguity.
Hey, guys, we should have waited 3 years since the release date to do this movie. And then we would have been like Will Smith, drained of life and feeling terrible that we haven't covered it.
So
'Cause
we
this
did-
film is great.
So we didn't wait long enough for this, but we waited too long for Drop Dead Fred, which had 21 years later.
Yeah, well.
This is incredible. Hats off to the domino setter up person.
Over 21 years.
I said we waited too long. To the person that was top comment on YouTube that you said.
Yes,
Luke?
go find that comment. It's great.
Yeah, they're basically like, I made the dominoes. I have
did
yet to
this.
see the movie that comes out December 18th, 2016, but I
Well,
can't wait to see how it turns
I
out.
sure hope they did, because this is beautiful.
It is beautiful, to the point in which one idiot could say, oh, that's CG. Guess what, guys? It's not.
That's just first time I saw this, I'm like, maybe that's CG. But it's not. Look at it go.
Look at him go.
It's... God, this must have taken him hours.
It's the...
In-universe, that is.
In universe,
Yeah.
they said, what, to fall or to create?
To create.
Well, they said 5 days.
5 fucking days.
And then Michael Peña's like, impressive.
Mickey, right.
Oh, no, I'm not his friend. Luke's
Yeah.
his
Right,
friend.
right.
We're not allowed to call him
maybe-
Eddie. We have to call him Edward.
I'll introduce you guys sometime. It'll
But
be
we
great.
all have to call her Kate, since she was in Titanic. We have to
Actually,
respect her for
We
that.
might have to call something different, because we have a mutual friend named Kate, and that might get confusing.
Well, Kate that we know wasn't in Titanic. So the Kate that we know can now be called Katie, which she hates. So, guys, my history with this movie is I know this movie. I did not see it. I remember very, very vividly, I was seeing a movie and the trailer came up, and the trailer was like this trailer that was like, Will Smith is happy-go-lucky Will Smith. You know Will Smith? And I'm like, I do know Will Smith, the Fresh Prince himself. And it's like, but guess what, guys? His daughter died. Oh no, not Willow. And then, and then he's really depressed. So he writes letters, not to people, but things. Concepts. He writes letters to love, death, and time. But guess what? They come and visit him like the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And they help him go through his grieving process, and everyone's happy at the end. And at no point in the trailer does it really highlight
these three friends, whatever.
The gaping hole in this.
the
little
gaping
thing
hole
you've
in the
set up.
trailer was, and then why I got interested was I looked at the trailer and went, that looks, Will Smith trying to get an
Schmaltzy,
Oscar.
Feel good.
You know how Will Smith's he's been trying to get an Oscar for like 15 years, so he
It's 'cause
does
he
movies
didn't-
like 7 Pounds, Pursuit of Happiness.
Well, Pursuit of Happiness, he didn't get one, and then after that, I think he like.
No, but he's been trying
Yeah.
actively. I Am Legend. He does all these movies.
After Earth.
After no, not
just
After
kidding, that
Earth. He
doesn't
wasn't
count.
trying with that, but Concussion, the one where he played a real life African doctor who figured out that football players are getting concussion, and there's a bit everyone uses to make fun of that movie where he's doing his accent. He's like, "Why don't you tell the truth? Tell the truth." It's just so funny. But this is one of those ones where I went, oh no, he's trying to get an Oscar again, and he's dragged in A-grade actors with him this time around.
A lot of nominees, too.
nominees.
And 2 winners, I think.
2 winners. I was going to say Kate Winslet's won one, hasn't she? Or
Has
she
Mirren?
lost?
Yeah, she has. There's a video of her holding it up.
Helen Mirren, she's won one, has she? I'm
she's
assuming
seen,
she has.
yeah.
For Caligula, I imagine. Which will do wonder.
When did Leo win his?
Leo's not
Yeah,
in this
I know,
movie.
I'm just wondering.
Revenant, that was 2
He won
years
it
ago.
2 years ago.
I remember because we talked about
Look,
that in
what I'm
Kangaroo
saying,
Jack.
what I'm saying is, Will Smith should have won it for The Revenant. So,
I loved him as, let me see here.
as Tom Hardy,
The man.
as the
The
bear.
man with the boundless
As
accent.
the bear.
As the Bartek, you're a bad person.
You know what I love though? If he didn't as the bear, when he swung, each swipe he swung at him, he was like, Wild Wild West.
Oh, hell no, I want to get shot.
Oh, hell no, I'm not going to get shot. Welcome to Wild Wild West, Leo. But I saw this movie as an Oscar bait movie, so I wasn't interested in it. But then I heard gossip and word of mouth and how people felt really annoyed. And this got like 11% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's funny, they're talking about an Oscar on screen right now.
Yeah.
The baby.
We get it, Luke. You want babies. You want his baby in particular.
Mikey.
But you could be that kid's dad, because if we add up the timeline, Michael Peña would be dead now. It's been
That's
2 years since this event.
unfortunate.
So, he dead. But what I was saying was, I heard this thing and everyone was furious about this movie, giving it low ratings and all this stuff because the trailer misled them. The trailer said, hey, it's about this, but it's actually about...
Raiden.
It's about fucking Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2. Don't let me break this pen that Grayson from last week's episode left behind. But everyone was thinking, whoa, they walked in thinking Will Smith's going to be the main character, but the main character is Edward Norton, Kate Winslet, and Michael Peña. It's a movie about these three trying to help Will Smith, and if you really look at the film, Will Smith's the antagonist.
I guess.
Because we're seeing it from their point of view, and he's stopping them from wanting what they want. In simple, structural, and writing terms, Will Smith is the antagonist of the movie. He doesn't, not meaning he's evil, but he is stopping our heroes from wanting what they want.
That's a very interesting observation, actually, because, we do get told that the reason why they're doing everything is because they feel like he's unfit to either run the company or make that decision.
He is. I mean, there's no ambiguity.
And that's why, as Ryan is saying, he is the antagonist. But it's kind of also interesting because I felt like they didn't... There was a lot more focus on the emotional aspect, even though that is like the technical underlying thing. So it's a very interesting case of an antagonist.
But also, you look at how each actor plays it. So Edward Norton's a little bit like gung-ho, where he's like, I'm going to do this to help my friend. And Kate Winslet is the one that's feeling emotionally distraught over doing this. And Michael Peña... He don't care. He just wants to get things done so he can save his family's well-being.
Model employee right there.
Because that's their dynamic. Edward Norton is a bit too naive and a bit too headstrong because he's his best friend, so he's like, this will help him. Kate Winslet's a bit unsure and she's a bit mostly involved, and Michael Peña's the more distant one, who's like, no, we need to do this, the more cold, logical one.
Yeah.
I like that he rides his bicycle all the way across the street so he can dump his mail in the mailbox, so then he can ride his bicycle away again. What I'm saying is Will Smith rides a bicycle a lot, to the point in which my fiancé saw a scene in which she's pointed and said, why did he park his bike there? And then he proceeded to keep walking away from that bike to his actual bike that he parked on across the road. He's like, oh, okay, I'll forgive that then. Like, apparently she wanted to give him a demerit point for parking his bike somewhere. Can we give a round of applause to Ann Dowd?
Can we? Oh,
she is fantastic in this movie. She's the best.
More Ann Dowd in movies.
More of her committing mail fraud, please.
Theft. Yeah.
Oh, theft. Sorry. Yes, theft. But yeah, so I heard about this movie being notoriously against what the trailer said. And you know what? Just to say it, it is. The trailer's a lie. But here's the thing. It's a good lie. Because it's hiding the true sincerity of the movie. It's getting you to come into the cinema, but what it's delivering to you, it isn't a full-on lie, but it is a lie where Will Smith is important to the movie, but it's, you know, it's kind of hiding the truth from you of being like, you know, is Kate Winslet, you know, happy or, you know, like, or are these actually ghosts or are these actually actors? What's the go on? Because when you're in the trailer, it makes it seem like they're actors, but also the actual ghosts. And then when you watch the movie, it's like they're actors, but then are they?
Ooh, ambiguous ending.
And also in a world where there's a common, like,
I thought you were going to say communists.
There are
a world where there's communists.
there are, but that's got nothing to do with my point. In a world where we have a lot of debates, like commonly held debates about, like, oh, you shouldn't watch trailers because they're not well made anymore. They spoil things. Like, isn't it kind of refreshing to have a trailer that misleads you?
Yeah, doesn't it?
Like, I know misleading is like a negative thing, but
Bartek, I would qualify that as a yes in a really sad sort of way.
Dude, I mean, he's right though. There are actual trailers that show you the final shots of movies. And that's just the fucking worst.
I think if you can even tell, like, if you look at a trailer and it's at over 2 minutes long, then you can kind of say you're going to spoil at least one major plot
Unless it's
point.
Deadpool, right?
Yeah, because then they just do whatever.
And then it's just him being like, hey, it's me, Bob Ross. But, yeah, this movie, I agree. It's good that it kind of misleads you into thinking things in a level, because that's the art of a trailer. To be honest, I never watch trailers, only when I go to the cinema and I'm forced to see trailers.
Pretty much the same here.
I love watching trailers for movies.
I don't know. I'd rather just see the movie.
Actually, the best part of getting to the movies early is the Val Morgan advertisement.
Oh, okay. That's a real local reference.
Yeah.
I guess.
You gotta see it, guys.
Hey, listener in Zambia, do you like those episodes? Do you like those ads?
I like the ads for
Morgan.
that one real estate company where
Yeah, I know
it
that
has.
one.
I can't remember the name, but it has nothing to do with anything. Like they do something epic, and then like, yeah, I feel great. I just bought a house.
My thing is, when I'm at the cinema and I have my chocolates and drink and whatever, this is me 100% all the time, every time. Even if it's a trailer I like, I'm sitting there and I'm just whispering to my friends shit about the trailers. Like it's like this one. I remember sitting with my fiance Rachel and being like, "Look at Will Smith crying. What a bitch."
Look at him now. He does not look well, and that's underselling
He's
it.
trying to find the pursuit to happiness, man.
Got a dream? Go get it.
He went.
Jeez, he looks fucking mad, doesn't he?
Well, man, you should see him later in the movie when he starts yelling at Keira Knightley.
I remember that. Jesus, he goes off.
He goes off big time. So we have a lot of returning actors for this episode. Michael Peña, Keira Knightley, Will Smith.
Yeah.
The golden statue.
I can't believe... Is there someone else? I feel like there's others.
It felt like there were a
Have
lot.
we had
but those-
Ann Dowd before? I feel like we might have.
What else has Ann Dowd been in?
She's in everything. She's the
Yeah.
chicken handmaid's tale.
Oh, yeah.
She's, I don't know, woman.
Some stuff.
She's also in this great movie called Compliance, which is based on a true story about a guy who used to phone up fast food chains and pretend to be a police officer and make them do things because they felt like they're under the compliance of the law to do all these nasty things. It's a real good movie. She plays like the fry cook manager, and it's great. I like the little girl in this. She felt like she's going to go somewhere, I reckon.
I've seen Barry before. He's good for
Bazza, you mean?
Bazza.
Guess what? He's not Barry.
That's not Barry? Oh, no.
He's the
Oh,
doorman.
my gosh.
We
I
never
thought-
meet
so
Barry.
When she was like, Barry said, I need to do this, she kind of like gestured to the doorman.
No, the doorman's like her muscle.
Oh,
He's like-
look. A modern reference to Hamilton.
Oh, right. I thought you meant look behind them and how they have the Hanukkah imagery in the background with the candles. But it's only partially in the frame, because remember, this is a Christmas movie, people.
Yeah. can't you
No
tell by all
Jews
the
allowed, as Mel
Like,
Gibson
you
would
said,
say.
you said Hanukkah symbolism, and I saw the ring of the Christmassy thing. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, on the right-hand side of the
They
frame,
had, like
there's the
candelabra, or
candelabra.
whatever it's called.
I can't remember what they're called, but yes. My Jewish references are very low. I was going to say dreidel.
No, that's the top.
I know.
gotta-
They're the Beyblades
Hey,
of
someone else
religion.
is demonstrating their faith.
I know that
Get 'em.
I learnt the name of that candelabra thing from Chase's War and Everything.
I learnt it from Rugrats.
Oh yeah, because there are some Jews in that, aren't there?
They're what, so?
Jews.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
on,
know, the people of the Jewish faith.
Did you hear me say Jews and thought I said something offensive?
No, I thought you said, yes, they are some Jews. Like, whoa, Bartek, calm down.
Hey, Bartek, are there Jews in Poland?
Not anymore.
There, at a time, there were.
But then, I don't want to name names, but, some...
Kiddo.
Some nasty men came along
Kiddo.
and decided no more. But Luke's looking really annoyed and disgusted that we're pussyfooting around Nazis. But let's not also forget.
was
just-
One of
I'd
the
like
things,
to
one of the
point
things
out-
that people don't want to point out is Poland was very anti-Semitic too before the Second World War, because they were the biggest Jewish population in Europe at the time. So. Yeah, it's not easy. Now, this scene was great. I
Yeah,
love
I
Edward
really like
Norton,
this.
and I love that he's really just casual, and Will Smith, look at him emote. He's gritting his teeth.
Yeah, he's doing that classic Will Smith.
He's nodding.
Furrowed brow.
He's nodding. I imagine this is how Will Smith communicates with his son, Jaden.
Yeah. They don't talk anymore. They just nod and grunt.
No.
After-
Jaden talks constantly.
Oh, yeah, Jaden won't shut up. He's got so many ideas.
Dad, I'm a tree. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then evolves into shaking his head.
Yeah. My fiance was like, "This feels like a Wes Anderson movie." Then I went, "There's Wes Anderson!" Like the guy with the long hair. He looks exactly like Wes Anderson.
Oh, the woman that the camera was on just before the Wes Anderson looked like. I thought that was Lindsay Lohan for a second.
Funny as. Now, guys,
Yeah, baby.
No, I was going to say, hey, do you want to use an Apple computer? I know I do. I don't know why. After watching this movie, I feel like buying Apple products. I just don't know why. It's so odd.
Why are we watching this film on a Dell computer?
Well, I haven't bought my Apple computer yet, buddy.
But you watched it last night.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing, man. Apple is so good at ordering products in super quick that I was the fool and assumed that they couldn't order them in real quick. So I have waited until after we record to phone up Apple support and say, hey, Apple, can I have a computer? And they're like, of course you can. We're Apple. We love giving products that are very good in quality.
And then they say, but it'll take some time to get there. And then you'll be like, oh, time like the movie.
Oh my god. Fun fact. I didn't know that was Keira Knightley until they showed the close-up on her face when she was just talking in a profile. I'm like, who's this lady?
Exactly. That's what I thought too when I first saw that. I'm like,
and then
is this another Ann Dowdish character?
It's just Ann Dowd.
It's just some other ancient.
No, I legit gasped. I went, oh, it's her! Like, I don't know why, but I was genuinely surprised. Like, I knew she was in this, but I didn't know it was her until they cut to the close-up. I'm like, oh, it's Keira.
I don't know how to feel about these stairs as like the main stairwell for this workplace.
Dude, here's the reason. You see,
they have to go up.
Will Smith has 3 abstractions that he likes to use in everyday life.
Really?
You see, one of them is time, one of them's love, and the other one is funky stairs.
Ah, funky
stairs. So he starts writing letters to the concepts of
funky
time, death,
love.
time,
You
love,
may be
and
funky,
stairs.
but my life doesn't feel so funky right now.
I wish I could throw myself down you.
And they get an actor who's like a complete doormat to play the stairs.
No.
They get a complete doorman who we saw earlier.
No, they get Jim Henson's son to do a puppet door. Puppet staircase with eyes and a mouth, and it's just doing like one of those new Muppet voices.
And it's gigantic.
Oh, it's huge. He's actually sitting on it right now. Luke, you do plays, musicals more
musicals
often.
Mostly, yeah.
Would you want to be in this play?
I don't know. Like the theater looks nice, but the words feel like really low budget Shakespeare.
Well,
And the 20,000 doesn't interest you.
yeah, dude,
No.
20,000.
I'm an artist. I don't work for money.
An artist.
Okay, no.
You wouldn't get along with these
For
three.
real.
Fun fact: Luke
Yeah, I
isn't
would.
getting paid to be here right now, so he's
I do
actually
it for
accurate.
The love.
He
I
does
do
it
love.
for the artistry of the movie. Now, Bartek, you walked into this knowing a bit more than, I would say, Luke, where I kind of told you about
Yeah,
this.
it was all based on your secondary explanations.
But do tell us your journey into this movie, like your expectations and all that kind of stuff.
So, I watched the trailer after the film, so I was literally just going in based on what you were saying, Ryan. Yeah, and some of the points you were mentioning that, like, the main thing was that it seemed like a, genuine heartfelt thing in the trailer, but then in the film it's actually about these 3 subordinates of his, or partners in any way, thinking he's unfit to do his job and to, like, get him out of this position. So I thought that it was going to be a lot more cynical than that, or that they would be a lot meaner or, like, unlikable, but actually when I watched the film I was surprised that even though there is clearly a business benefit to doing this, there is a lot more focus on the emotional aspect, and I was thinking that there was going to be some, like, turning point in the film where they get called down and it's like, no, you're just in this for the money, and there sort of is, but it wasn't towards the end, and
It didn't feel that powerful when it happened.
And and they were literally
Christmas.
more genuinely Christmas. No, they were literally more genuinely into, helping him emotionally.
Yeah, I'm just want to point out, she's got like a rooster? A light up
Christmas
rooster.
rooster.
A Christmas rooster? I guess roosters do have Christian significance.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
when
there
they
was
go
one,
cock-a-doodle-doo,
when Jesus
and then you
was
wake up
born,
and
I
get your
think.
presents.
I was actually going to go with the religious significance of when the rooster crows.
Mm.
That's when he stops denying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's one of the things too. You gotta love movies because, Bartek's right. This movie isn't as cynical as I might have led it to believe, because when you hear the movie's not actually about the guy who lost his daughter, but about 3 business people who are worried about their financial stability.
They
You sound like that sounds very corporate and very like, why would I care about these people? But here's the thing. Movies and writing have to work around these problems because, that is a problem. So, some people might say it's cynical or manipulative to have things like, oh, Edward Norton's got a mum with Alzheimer's. Or Edward Norton's daughter doesn't like him. Or Kate Winslet wants babies. Or Michael Peña's dying of cancer, or whatever it was. And some people go, well, that's manipulative because it's forcing the audience to sympathize or feel emotions for these characters that you could look at as more people who are yearning for preservation of themselves. But that's the thing, guys. All movies do that. All stories do that. And if they didn't, you wouldn't enjoy anything ever. So what's the
just
point?
More subtle about it, I guess.
Well,
Or
Luke,
nuanced.
this one was subtle. She was holding a cushion. She didn't say, hello, my son, Eddie Norton.
Hello,
I
Edward.
have what they call the Alzheimer's. Who are you again?
Amnesia. Is there anyone here who doesn't have amnesia?
Hello?
There's a Futurama reference for you, listeners.
I got you there.
Thank you, Ryan.
But, this is the kind of thing where that's what movies do. That's what stories do. That's what TV does. Some do it better than others. I think this did it a bit more subtly than you're giving it credit for, Luke. Like, there are things that I watched recently. Like, I watched the recent new Sabrina TV show.
Yeah,
and
the chilling adventures of.
the clunky exposition things to make you care about people in that
my
show.
God.
Even though that show's, I think, pretty good, but there are moments where it's like, oh, hello, Sabrina. What are you up to? And she's like, oh, I am here doing this thing. And it's like, here, I'm doing things that make you care about me more as a character, for I am Sabrina, the main character of the TV show Sabrina. Well, in this movie, it's like kind of like, oh, this happens and this happens. But just a moment, can we talk about this great ad?
Oh my god, this thing is the stuff of
No,
dreams.
that's the doorstep, guys. Just this, that monster.
Who are you?
Who are you?
This guy looks like Hispanic Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I guess he does.
Yeah, kind
A
of.
little bit.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I'll
Thank you.
give you
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Now,
Mark Wahlberg isn't as pink, though.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you think I said pink, Bartek? Did you think I said he looks like a pink?
I was
Mark
making a joke that the monster
Oh.
looked like Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, the monster was red for one.
It was bright red, actually.
Yeah.
You said pink, like your pants are pink.
Do I want to remind you that I was joking?
No, you don't remind me about things, Bartek.
It wasn't do I remind you, it's do you want me to?
I am talking about the greatness that is Collateral Beauty. But, like, Luke, did you notice the subtle little things? Like, every single time our three main characters refer to the abstractions, whatever one they say first is the one that matters to them. So Edward Norton
Yes.
says love, death, and time. And then Kate Winslet says time, death, and love. And then Michael Peña says death, love, and time.
Someone's been reading their IMDb trivia.
No,
each-
I actually wrote that in my
Each of-
notes.
Well,
Sure
this
you
isn't like, whoa, really deep, but each of those concepts relates to their own journey. Like death, obviously,
yeah.
Michael Peña, love.
Peña?
Peña.
Peanut.
Peanut.
Penis.
Mikey.
Mickey.
Yeah. Mickey also fine.
Mickey Peanuts.
So Mickey's dying, so death relates to him.
Love relates to Kate.
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, no. Yeah.
She's
yes.
time.
Love relates to Eddie,
Yes.
and time relates to Kate because
Because she's running out of
biological
time.
clock and all that.
But, women, they're clocks. It's all happening.
Tick tock.
She wants a family, but
I'm
she's working.
impressed. I was impressed that they used the phrase. They actually used the phrase gaslighting here because you don't tend to see that in movies.
I mean, you do.
Name me at least two other examples where the phrase comes up.
No, name 14.
Okay, I'll give you one. Gaslight. Boom.
Well, isn't
Not counting that.
Boom, boom. You didn't say
Wait.
not to count
Fine.
that.
Wait, but does that
You got one
count?
left.
It does count.
okay, you got
because it
one left.
invented
Go on.
it.
No, but it wasn't it derived from? Not that it invented it.
The
right?
phrase comes from that movie.
The phrase comes
Did they
from
say it in the film?
gaslighting, yeah.
I thought because I read online that someone used the gaslight
Yeah,
in order
yeah,
to
yeah.
evoke the effect,
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
not that the verb itself was used.
She's like, I feel like he's gaslighting me.
Oh well, then you're right then.
Probably more smoothly delivered than that. But basically, I could use gaslight. Luke, it's mentioned in a lot of things, but I'm just going to focus on Keira Knightley's teeth during the scene because I've always focused on her
Not hard
teeth.
to. She's got very good teeth.
She's got British teeth, that's for sure. But what I love about Keira is, I said this in Bend It Like Beckham, which I can't believe is so many years ago now when we covered that. But she is like a xenomorph, but she doesn't have the little mouth, but she's trying. She's trying so hard.
You know, after
You know what I
I
mean?
Jewel
It's like,
much
it's
either.
like her teeth are like trying to pop out of her mouth to attack you, but they can't because they are in the mouth.
It's sort of hard for me to agree because after I watched this film, I watched Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh right,
that was
and
a
he
big
had
thing in
false
it.
teeth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rami Malek and his big false teeth. Yeah,
Yes.
but in this, they're real teeth because she is Keira Knightley and she is British, and those are her teeth. I love watching Keira in the background here. She's like looking around and feeling things because
Yeah.
she's love, man.
Love is subtle.
Love is blind. It would have been great if she was blind, and then Tommy Wiseau could have clapped.
Why wasn't
I
Tommy Wiseau in
predicted
this
it.
film? That's what I want to know.
Dude. Tommy Wiseau's right there. It's Kate Winslet. He just dyed his hair blonde.
What a disguise.
Tommy Wiseau's in the background yelling Stella.
Stella! Yeah, no, he's actually directing. Twist. He's like, I finally got Helen Mirren. I wanted her to play Lisa. Like, I would love to see Helen Mirren play Lisa. And just to deliver my favorite line, which is, you didn't get it, did you? After he just said he didn't get it. So, Lucas,
Yes.
you walked into this pretty much blind. You thought it was another movie of Will Smith. So when you eventually did go into, how did you feel?
Well, around this point, I'm like, for a film where the trailer was very like, this is about Will Smith's emotional journey. Where the fuck is he? He said barely, apart from the start, he said barely 2 words.
Oh, it's because he's grieving.
Well, he did it.
Yeah.
Well, it was replaced with his nodding and shaking of head.
Oh, yeah.
And a beanie.
And riding into traffic.
And also, as the film goes on, he becomes a lot more prominent.
He does talk.
Which is probably a good thing, because,
Honestly, he sort of becomes
It's
the
about
main
him.
character by the end.
Well, don't we all become the main character by the end due to the fact that we all...
I mean, become implies you weren't
Now,
before.
I've got a
well, I
question.
wasn't when I started, but then by the end, we all became the main character of watching this movie.
I see.
I've
in the
got a
context
question
of
for
the
you
whole
guys.
thing, yeah.
Yes.
If you had to, if death appeared to you as like a famous actor or whoever,
Well,
who
it's Helen Mirren, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, if
we
it-
got it right here,
if
dude.
it wasn't Helen Mirren, who would it be?
Well,
for you guys?
clearly, the answer is...
Tommy was.
Bruce Willis. Tommy was actually a pretty good option.
No, I was just going to say Dame Judi Dench, because it's like, if it isn't Helen Mirren, it's Dame Judi Dench that's usually cast in things. If I had to choose an actor, that's a good choice. That's a good option, but we've already got the actor, the guy from Bill and Ted. From Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right? Is that the second one? Bogus Journey. Yeah,
Oh,
Death.
the guy that played Death.
Yeah, no,
Right.
Keanu Reeves.
It's like,
Whoa,
George-
man,
I was like,
you're
Ge-
dead.
I thought you were like, George Carlin? Like, who are you talking about?
Death.
Hey, George Carlin is deaf.
Who we've had on the show.
I mean,
in
he's
an
dead, so
episode.
that works.
No, not George Carlin. The guy who
Ah.
played Death in Bill and Ted. I'm pretty sure. I'm forgetting his name, but he's a great actor. He's in Star Trek, Deep Space Nine,
Alright, my
as
personal
Guy
death
from
was
Section
George
31. Sorry, I wanted to talk about Star Trek, Luke, but you just interrupted me with some
Luke,
bullshit
if I
about a
mention Star
movie.
Trek again, just interrupt him.
Bartek,
It's fine.
I want to hear your thoughts on Star Trek. I want to hear Bartek's
I've
thoughts.
only seen Into Darkness.
You fucking idiot! You didn't even see the first one before that to give you an understanding. You
I
had
wasn't
to
invited
walk
to
in-
see the first one.
You had to walk into Star Trek Into Darkness, the worst
I was-
one out of them since the fucking fifth one, the one where they literally find God and tell him to piss off.
Ryan, shut the fuck up about Star Trek already. Come
Star
on.
Trek?
Damn.
Okay, I'll talk about my other favorite, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Here we go.
But I don't hate that.
Sons
so I
of
don't-
Liberty.
you're
Oh,
putting it
I
on
do.
yourself.
So, the thing about Sons of Liberty is the fact that, one, the Sons of Liberty don't even fucking matter in the grand scheme of things, because they suck in the first place, to the point in which it's like, let's kind of cover them in the other ones, but kind of don't, because it's a stupid idea and it's terrible. But also, Raiden sucks, and I think that's the main thing we need to take away from that one, is Raiden sucks. But what we need to take away now is Will Smith is using the beanie to cover his big ears.
Yeah. I don't think it's a Christmas movie without someone looking in forlornly out in the cold.
That's
through a window.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's why we don't have Christmas in Australia, because it's never cold.
It's 37 degrees Celsius right now as we're recording this, listeners. So
I'm feeling great.
I'm
Is
feeling
it?
alright, all things considered.
You know what I love? I was trying to figure out why he went to the dog park all the time when he doesn't have a dog and never has had a dog.
Maybe just likes.
Did
to
we
watch
ever
the
see a
dogs.
dog in any of the photos or footage?
Not that I recall.
So why does he go here?
I'm the goddess of death.
You know-
Oh wait, that's Kate Blanchett.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe this film is trying to acknowledge the psychological effect of being around animals.
That is true. You know what they say, dogs can see ghosts. That's true.
That's not what I was talking about,
Cats
but
can
okay.
also see them.
Animals can see.
I was talking about from a therapeutic angle.
Animals can see Sam Beckett, who is quantum leaping, and he hopes that this leap will finally be the leap home. But guess what? It isn't, because at the end of the show, they give you a title card saying Dr. Sam Beckett, Beckett spelt wrong. That Sam Beckett never returned home. That's how you end your happy show. Well, I say happy, I mean, it's kind of miserable too. But, you know who would have been great as Death? Sam Beckett, the character, not the author, the character. Dr. Sam Beckett.
I don't know,
from
Ryan.
Quantum Leap.
I don't know about that.
He would have taken your soul and then looked at the camera and said, "Oh boy."
He doesn't know which way he wants to walk.
Because Will Smith, his ears are cold, so it kind of screws
where's
up
it-
his
where's that beam
magnetic...
there? Polarity, fucking something or other. Just sets a direction.
Will
His internal compass.
Will Smith's a bird. That's what I'm saying. Ann Dowd rocking it again, as usual.
All the heat's coming out from his ears.
So, Bartek,
Yes.
there are many actors, many great
Yeah, a
performers
lot. I've seen Wikipedia.
in this movie.
Oh, right, yes.
There's a lot, too, in this movie. Like, look at that actor in the background with his girlfriend.
There are two layers of actors. There are the performance of the film, and there are actors in the film.
No, there are just two layers of actors. The skin and the bones.
Yeah, that little deception just there. It's like, oh, other people can't see me. What if one of her friends, like in the acting profession, had turned up?
Dude, twist. She's not an
Oh, hey,
actress.
yeah.
She
But we don't
is-
know that yet.
No,
I thought the twist was she doesn't have friends.
No, the twist is we're not actually watching this. You are at home, but we're actually sitting here just playing dominoes.
Well, the people disliking the YouTube version of this episode probably aren't watching it.
Don't promote that. So, Bartek, what I was going to
It's
say was
okay,
there are
Ryan.
many...
Likes and dislikes affect the algorithm the same way.
There are many actors. What I was trying to get to was who in this movie is your favorite actor? And I'm not talking about like them in this movie, like, oh, they did a really good job in this movie. I'm talking about just in general,
The
which
Wes
of
Anderson
these
lookalike.
actors is one that you really like?
I mean, Will Smith, yeah.
Yeah, Will Smith?
Yeah.
Will Smith? Okay, that's fair enough. Why Will Smith?
I mean, I've grown up on Fresh Prince. I've always enjoyed him in pretty much everything he's been in. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just been like an ever-present actor that I've known about.
Any standout things? Any standout roles other than Fresh Prince, obviously?
I remember I really liked Pursuit of Happiness. That was a really nice
that's a
one.
fun.
The one with Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that sequence where he's working out, like when he's got the job and he's thinking, like, if I don't go get myself a cup of water, I can save myself this much time over the course of the day, and that's more time for
Wow.
him to.
I've never watched Pursuit of Happiness. I was just like, no, I want my Will Smith goofy, damn it. I don't want to see him crying. I gave I Am Legend a chance, and it fucked me over, so I'm not doing this again. Because I hate I Am Legend.
Me too.
I hate it almost as much as Hancock.
And Hancock has a lot to hate about it.
Hancock is one of those movies where instead of, you know how this movie had a trailer that lied to you? Hancock has 45 minutes that lie to you, and then another 45 minutes is the truth, and you feel betrayed. Where it's like, hey, it's a movie about Will Smith as a drunken superhero, and isn't it wacky? And he meets Jason Bateman, and then he wants to fuck his wife, and you're like, wait, what?
Sounds like a
But
regular
then,
old day.
but then you're like, no, this could work. And then it's like, but actually, they're super being things. I don't want to get into Hancock. One day we might cover it on the show because I need to redeem myself because people genuinely love that movie and I want to understand why. But here's the thing. I agree with you. Will Smith is one of those actors that have been a staple for our generation because, maybe one a bit before. Like, you know,
Like
he's
Independence
been
Day and Men in Black was when I
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Men in Black
when I
is the
first
top
saw him.
dog for me. Like, I love him
What
in
a
it.
performance.
He saves Independence Day because I think Independence Day is a bit.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
I like him more in Jurassic Park if I want Jeff Goldblum. But Will Smith in Independence Day, where he fucking punches the alien in the
That's what I
face,
call a close encounter.
punches him in the face, or that whole sequence where he's oblivious to the fact that there's an alien invasion. But Will Smith and his good buddy. I'm forgetting that comedian's name. His good buddy who plays his buddy in the movie.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Bartek, what's his name?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. He
But
doesn't.
he's funny in that one before
Yeah.
he gets blown up.
He gets blown up, but I think it's the guy who plays Ford Fairlane. But Andrew Dice Clay, I'm pretty sure.
that was Andrew Dice Clay?
I don't know.
Oh my god, if it was, that's crazy.
Oh boy, it's going to be someone's going to be like, no, it was Gilbert Gottfried. No. Hey, Will,
It was Rick.
we're going to do that Aladdin reboot together. Give me a call. Now I sound more like Harvey Fierstein, who was in Independence Day.
David, why did I send my mother to Atlanta?
I gotta call my mother.
Oh, I gotta call my lawyer. Oh, forget my lawyer.
Will Smith obviously is a great run, but I think my favorite actor that I like, that I'm always excited by when in this movie, is Edward Norton's always one of those guys that you just go, yes, he's one of the greatest actors of all time, especially the Italian Job. Great mustache.
I only just this year saw American History X, and
wow.
my fucking, what a
Took you long enough.
film. What a performance. It was great.
What a neo-Nazi. But then he's okay, because he's not as much of a neo-Nazi as he could be.
I can't remember, the black guy meets on the inside, and he keeps trying to make him laugh, and then by the point that...
The black guy was Will Smith, asking, hey, will you finance this script I found? It's called Collateral Beauty. I mean, Naomi Harris is obviously great. I mean, think about this. The year that she did this, around the time this would come out, she was working on Moonlight. She was in Moonlight as Crackhead Mum. Everyone's favourite, Crackhead Mum.
Naomi Harris as Crackhead Mum.
As Crackhead Mama. Remember, guys, she's the first female black woman in Star Wars. In Solo. Everyone's favourite movie, Solo. Naomi Harris. Pretty sure it was her.
Wait,
am I wrong?
Which character?
As Black Woman, the only one in Star Wars.
That was Sandy Newton, I think.
Oh, fuck, I'm mixing up my black women.
Go on, doing that
Sandra
again,
Bullock.
Oh, you mean
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei?
Kerry Washington.
I love Edward Norton. Fight Club's obviously one of those ones that everyone loves, but I do have that guilty pleasure of loving him in The Italian Job with Mark Wahlberg, the film that he was contractually obliged to be in and hated every single moment. American History X.
Why did he hate The Italian Job?
Because he's an artist. He's Mr. I'm a serious actor.
Because you've seen Birdman, yes?
Yeah, where he plays himself.
Yeah. Like, apparently, even during the table read for Birdman, he started doing...
Because he's Edward Norton. He was Edward Norton.
And they're like, Ed, can you see what you're doing here?
Because he's Edward Norton. God. What about you, Luke? Are there any actors?
Well, it's very serendipitous that you mentioned Edward Norton, because I was going to say, I love him. Like, he's just a great actor. He's always brought 110% in every single role he does, and he's played a very good range of characters too.
Yeah, man. Like, you got
Fight Club is probably like one he's most known for. I
Isn't
think.
he in one of the Bourne movies?
Yeah, he is one of the later ones.
I haven't seen it.
I'm pretty sure he's in the Bourne movie as like guy on phone who's like, you gotta do this. I'm like, you gotta. I agree. No, he's a great actor, but what about Michael Peña?
Look,
Observe and report, young man.
I did like him in The Martian.
He was in that?
Yeah, it was a very small role. But
was he one of the Martians?
Yeah,
or?
he was. He was there for a while, so I guess he was technically a Martian. He was one of the astronauts. He had some good lines.
Yes, I remember The Martian. I will never watch it ever again.
Why? It's a great movie.
It's a one. You know, there's some movies that you can understand they're great, but they're one and done.
Okay,
like I'll never watch The Martian again.
Would you watch Interstellar again?
I would, because it frustrated me so much, to the point in which I want to watch it again to see if it will frustrate me more so or lesser upon second watch. Christopher Nolan's kind of like that for me, where it's like Dark Knight Rises, fucking hysterical each time I watch it. It gets funnier and funnier each time I watch it, and the fact that people think it's like this masterful philosophical deconstruction of the Batman mythos, and I'm sitting there like, dude, there's a bit in The Dark Knight Rises where he cracks his fucking leg after being... There's a bit in The Dark Knight Rises where it's like, how do you want to die? Exile? Or, it's like, how do you want
Death
to...
or exile.
Death or exile. It's like, exile. Okay, then death by exile. It's like, fucking, this is a serious movie.
Let's not forget our esteemed colleague
Frederick Douglass,
who volunteers to go down to the
to the bomb,
and
then he's surprised that he's volunteered to go down to the bomb.
And it is our own personal belief that he had
thought
no
he was
idea.
getting Chinese.
He
right?
thought he was going to get that Szechuan chicken. Nothing about a
I
bomb.
love that. But this movie has a lot of moving parts in it, and the actors are obviously what draw people in. You see Helen Mirren, you think respectable actress. You see Edward Norton, respectable actor. Will Smith, he's always got a popularity. He's the charm. And, Will Smith, man, yeah, I agree. He's one of those great guys, and I always think of Men in Black, but it's weird. I never think of him in Men in Black. I always think of Vincent D'Onofrio in Men in Black, where he's like,
Wait,
more!
Oh my god,
More!
I always forget that's Vincent D'Onofrio.
More! And then
You
he's
see
like,
him as
sugar.
more.
I always think of him. I even forget Tommy Lee Jones. I always think of Vincent D'Onofrio as Cockroach Man.
What about Rip Torn? Who's got the
Well,
best
Rip
name?
Torn
The
is
best fucking
but
name.
Rip's a nickname, but yeah, he's got the best name, Rip Torn.
Get out of my house.
I love
kid.
Rip Torn. He's this drunk old man. Like, he literally crashed his car through someone's house.
What's he done since Men in Black?
Oh, he
Robbed
did
the bank?
No, he's been in a ton of things. Men in Black revived his career. He was in 30 Rock as like Jack Donaghy as the boss.
He was in
Jack
Zoom?
Donaghy's boss. He was in Zoom. He was, and Men in Black 3. He did a cameo in it as an alien because they killed off his character in Men in Black 3 for some reason because they wanted Emma Thompson to be in it. Because when in doubt, get Emma Thompson to play the boss.
Well,
I'm
I
pretty
do
sure
like
she's
Emma
the Prime
Thompson.
Minister in Johnny English 3. So when in doubt, get Emma Thompson. This movie could have. Can we talk about time? I think this actor's great. I haven't really
I like
seen
his
him in
thing.
anything before. I looked him up, and I haven't.
What about since this?
I don't know. I think he's more of a music guy as well. I think he's in the TV show Empire.
Yeah, that would make sense. That show
but
features predominantly African American actors.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kate Winslet. It's a show about Kate Winslet trying to make an empire.
Empire made of Titanic ambitions.
Yeah,
See what I
there's
did there.
but yeah, Kate Winslet though, she's the one that she's the unappreciated actress for me.
Really?
Because I've never been really bowled over by Kate Winslet in anything ever. She's always been, yeah, that was all right. I'm not saying she's a bad actress, but I've never been like, you know what, Kate Winslet, she
I will
fucking
agree.
tore it apart in that movie. You know Kate Winslet? Hold the phone bar. It's like, Kate Winslet's on screen. I've never been like that. I've always been like, oh yeah, it's Kate Winslet.
Well-
she's a serviceable actress. She's done things, but in this movie, hold the phone bar. It's like, she's fucking ripping the screen apart with her emotions about wanting babies.
And is this what you meant by, can we talk about time?
Can we talk about time?
I,
Hold the phone bar.
You were
It's
talking
like-
about this whole fun thing. I'm like, yeah, you
No, I
started
meant,
this by talking about...
I meant the actor who played Time. That's why I was like, can we talk about the guy who played Time? He did a really good
Oh,
job.
right.
I like the fact that how he approached Time with this sense of
Well, he even said, like,
annoyance and
antagonism,
antagonism, which is good because usually Time is usually something like Sacha Baron Cohen in Alice in Wonderland, where he's like kooky and he's like abstract and weird, but in this he's like, no, I'm just a guy who's really pissed off.
Well, if you want to talk about another idea about time in films that we've done on this show,
Yes, do it.
there is a film we did called Winter's Tale where someone existed outside of time,
Yes, they did.
and that actor that played that character was Will Smith.
Yes, he was Satan.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier Hitch. You can compare that to Love.
Oh my god!
Oh.
But then Death is this movie.
Probably, yeah.
No, definitely. I mean,
Well, it's kind of hard
his
to say. 'cause
daughter's dead.
It's kind of hard to justify that, though, because it's all
Or
three.
7 pounds? He's trying to die, right? He's giving all his organs
Yeah,
away.
I think he is dying, and then at the end, yeah, he does die.
With a jellyfish? Is that the jellyfish movie? There's
have no
apparently a
idea
movie
what
where
you're
it's
talking
like
about,
a jellyfish is involved with Will Smith wanting to die. And I'm like, oh, that must be something about... Someone at home is listening to this and being like, Ryan's right! There's a jellyfish, guys! And that person is the jellyfish owner. I'm 100%
know
right.
more
I
about
know
this
I'm
jellyfish
right, and
movie.
I've never seen the movie, but I know I'm right about this. There's a
I
jellyfish
have
involved.
seen the film, but I can't remember any jellyfish.
I'm eating.
I think I've even seen it twice.
Sorry, Luke's right. That was the best line delivery. Really, I'm eating.
I can't
It's
talk
kinda
to
like
an
him-
abstract concept
It's
right
kind of
now.
like when his sister, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, walks in and is always annoyed. Like, oh god, her. Like, it's kind of like
Oh, the cousin.
the
who-
cousin.
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
sister. Ugh.
He goes to live with his
Family.
Aunt and
Bel-Air.
uncle's
Aunt
family,
and uncle
yeah.
and Bel-Air.
And his good friend is also crashing the house all
Do
the
you
time.
think Keira Knightley can cry on cue? Because it seems
She can.
She did. Yeah, it looks like she just.
Oh, you know why she's crying though?
Because she's sad.
But yeah, she's incredibly depressed in real life. I don't know that. I'm just saying that. She's in a new movie now called The Nutcracker, which I can't wait to cover next year.
Oh, do you know who's,
She's got fairy floss for hair.
do you know who's returned to acting after a long exile? Amanda Bynes. I heard
She
that.
went away?
Oh, she was struggling with
Drugs.
bipolar and drugs and stuff.
Oh, don't worry. I know, man. Amanda Bynes is my OTP of myself. Amanda, you know who to call.
Well, breaking an exile from acting from an actress that's only appeared in the first film we've done in the show, that sounds pretty thematic.
And that's the only movie she's been in, right?
No, there was that one where she pretends to be a boy.
That we've done on the show. I mean.
Well, that's what I was saying.
She's the Man is the best movie ever made, and I can't wait to cover it. Yeah, look, here's the thing, guys. This movie's got a lot of twists and turns and interesting characterizations.
A lot of ins and outs and old Duder's head.
Can we talk about the characterization? So we'll talk about time.
Mm-hmm.
He's great, like he's young and
He's impetuous.
He's impetuous and he's aggravated. But let's talk about love, which is Keira Knightley. We're just talking about it. What did you think about Keira Knightley's approach to this role? Where I'm just gonna say it, guys. She is love, right? She is love. So these actors are having to play the concepts, playing actors, playing the concepts. So delve into this, Bartek.
It's interesting with her because she's the first one we meet of the three, and that kind of gives this implied leadership sort of this trio.
Yes.
Even though throughout the film, I feel like
Helen Mirren.
Yeah, I almost said Mirren. Helen Mirren kind of feels more like the leader, and then it kind of feels like she's not in the film as much.
Keira Knightley, you mean?
Yeah, not even talking about. We were talking before the episode about how all the three friends of Will Smith and the three actors kind of have their own little duos. The ones that have their main afflictions, death, the guy that's dying and such. You were mentioning before the episode how there isn't that final scene with Love and Edward Norton.
No.
But even despite that, the second encounter Will Smith has with the three of them, hers has a larger gap between the two than when he re-met Death to when he re-met Time. And she does stick out as being the one who is sort of most against it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and now that I'm watching it for a second time, I kind of feel like I have to think about what that apprehension can mean when you consider the concept of love.
Yeah, exactly. I understand what you're saying, man. Because, Luke, you do acting as well.
Yes, sir.
Imagine having to be asked, play a concept, and that concept is love. How would you approach it? Because obviously you're a guy as well, so you're obviously going to approach it differently to a female.
I'm obviously just not what they're doing here, to make him think they're real, just purely in a on stage. Oh, jeez, what would I think the big driving force behind playing big concepts like this is to make yourself seem just make yourself seem otherworldly. You can't just be a garden variety human. You kind of need to have a knowledge or something.
Yeah, otherworldly wisdom.
Yeah.
I remember in certain drama classes or drama situations where we were doing improvisation, the whole idea with being given a prompt is that you exaggerate it to the fullest degree. But I've always imagined what if you try not to hit the main points, you play love, and that means that you're just gonna constantly be happy and loving of everyone, but the concept of love has all these further branches, tough love or love that may seem a bit cruel, I'm doing this because I love you,
or love that's obsessive or can cause violence.
And I think maybe something like that's going on here. And I think one thing we also have to consider is the title and the concept that gets introduced. I think now okay,
a bit later in this scene,
but. Oh, well, I meant now as in this scene now, but...
Right.
Yeah, all right. Doesn't matter, we were on the same page. The Collateral Beauty thing...
man. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's kind of
so haunting.
The deep theme of the film, Collateral Beauty. Did we understand exactly what it was?
Well, dude, yeah, man.
It's about finding the beautiful moments in between.
It's YOLO.
Yeah, it's Carpe Diem.
I'm kind of asking seriously.
It's the vibe, it's Marbo,
It is YOLO though. You only live once, man. Just appreciate all the things around you. Just observe the beauty in the little things, in everything, in the bad and the good, in the sweet and the sour, in the the hot and the cold. Like, just everything's beautiful if you look at it.
Because I was kind of stuck on like the words they use, like collateral and beauty. Like collateral, that implies like a secondary effect of a cause, and obviously the cause in this case is the death of a 6-year-old.
And then with Edward Norton, it's the possible loss of his daughter, and with Michael Peña, it's the knowledge of death, and with Kate Winslet, it's the concept of time.
And I know that like when I finished watching the film and I needed a bit of a refresher on the thing, I like Googled like what are people talking about with collateral beauty, and I don't think it's like a mainly used term, but there were people talking about it.
Prior to this.
Well, even if I haven't heard of it, I can still buy that something exists. But people were talking about it, and like, I think the one definition that like kind of made the most sense to me was that collateral beauty, finding that love lives on even through something like destructive or sad, like the fact that he's suffering through a death. And time has failed him, and love. He feels
betrayed.
He feels betrayed, and there's a twist later on that the woman that he was talking to just then actually is his wife, and she's going through the same thing, but she's realized
the collateral beauty.
The collateral beauty.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what that actually reminds me of, because we've all seen Breaking Bad here, right?
Bartek has not.
Okay, well, Ryan, you've seen. Remember when Jesse is going to therapy, and that the guy leading the sessions, he used to be a drug addict. He accidentally killed his daughter, and he's so very at peace with it because he's decided, just if I keep on
the
blaming
collateral
myself,
beauty of it.
I don't change. So it's kind of reminds me of that, actually.
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful message, and I think Keira Knightley approaches playing the concept very well because she doesn't overstate it. She's not as showy off as Helen Mirren or the other guy. She's very understated, and she's very empathetic. That's her play on it. She's empathetic. She's feeling everything, and that's the right way to approach it. But she isn't afraid to ridge up and be like, hey, I'm still here. You have to be here too, kind of thing. And she does a great job, and I wanted to bring her up because I feel like in the fanciful nature of this, she could be kind of lost because she's not in it very much, and she's kind of understated. But understatement is what you need for a concept like love, and then obviously death. Well, Helen Mirren's just chewing up the scenery with aplomb. She's wearing frilly scarves and berets, and she's constantly like at the center of everything because isn't death at the center of everything?
She's always talking about like her acting techniques and things like that.
Yeah, this isn't
motivations.
It's Chekhov. So,
But also, she's constantly wanting the limelight, which, I think that works well because everyone wants to avoid death, but death doesn't want to be avoided, wants to be, like, ever-present. So, yeah, I think Helen Mirren just brings her mature acting skills and charm and quality and all that to this, and she fucking nails it, She's probably the most compelling one out of the three just because she's kind of focused on more, but that doesn't mean the other two don't pull their weight and add some interesting twists and turns to this.
I just find Helen Mirren, like, obviously because she's the oldest, but I find her to be the most reliable actress in terms of delivering a good performance.
Dude, I can't wait for the next Fast and Furious. You know that, right?
What?
I don't know anything.
So Helen Mirren, it was asked on Graham Norton, what's a movie or a franchise that you really wish you were a part of? And she's like, The Fast and Furious. I love them. And she went in this whole giant speech about how much she loves The Fast and Furious, how she really wants to be in them. And then literally a week later, she was contacted to be in the next one. Now she's going to be in the Fast and Furious.
Okay, I'm going to see that one then.
I mean, why not? They got Kurt Russell playing a fucking nerd.
Kurt Russell was in that Christmas movie that came out recently.
As Santa? As the new Tim Allen?
He just looks like he did in The Hateful Eight, but like more Christmassy.
But more jolly.
Yeah.
Ho, he doesn't say ho, ho, ho. My fiance watched it, and she was like, it was great. Because it's just Kurt Russell being Santa.
Do you remember that? It was a while back, that movie, Frank Claus, with Vince Vaughn as like...
We got to cover it one day, Luke.
Oh, please do.
Here it is, The Collateral Beauty, and he's like, I mean... Whoa, and then now he's getting real Will Smithy about it. He's like, I don't want to... This is how he got the script. Naomi Harris came up to him and was like, okay, dude, he's Collateral Beauty. He's like, well, okay.
Doesn't exist.
Hold on, is there an Oscar? And then Luke's like, yeah, there's a kid in the script called Oscar.
There's
like-
a baby.
It's like when Bill Murray did Garfield because he thought it was written by the Coen brothers, but in fact it was written by another person called Coen.
Oh, Bill.
And then he was stuck in the movie.
I liked.
Zombieland. Was
Yeah.
like, do you have any regrets? Oh, maybe Garfield.
No, definitely Garfield. You gonna say Bartek?
This is jumping back, but in the scene where we saw Oscar the baby,
Yeah.
Edward Norton was talking about how, like, I cheated, and Michael Peña said that, Mickey Peña said that,
Penis, yeah.
Oscar could have seen you cheating.
And he's like, who's Oscar?
Who's Oscar? And that was a, like, running line in the film Oscar that we did on the show.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It's like everything is tied together. It's like Collateral Beauty, man.
25 years, doesn't matter, we'll reference Oscar.
I would honestly like to end more of my conversations with, I think this was a mistake, and then just walk away.
Yeah, I wish I could do. You know
how this episode, the last line's going to be, right?
Dude,
Oh.
I can't wait for the time where I write Luke a letter saying I wish we were strangers again.
And now
Just to highlight the
we are.
fact that I wish we were. Luke,
Oh, me.
I can't wait for you to get that letter on your birthday.
On my birthday? Oh, jeez.
Well, happy birthday. Wish
what
we
a
were strangers again.
But do you mean that in a
Well, I mean
hateful way,
it
or
in whatever way you have to interpret it. It's a letter, Luke. I don't have a footnote at the end saying here's what this means, like a little asterisk next to it. Then the footnote explains it. You have to interpret it, man.
You can choose from one of three sterling
Dude,
options.
Death is like a paper tiger. You just have to interpret things.
My love for you was like a truck.
Exactly. And look, if Keira Knightley was offered $100,000, I agree she wouldn't accept it. She would want $5 million to do this movie because the budget on this movie was ludicrously high. It was like 100 something gajillion dollars. I'm like, where is this movie? And then you realize, well, it does have every A-list actor you could ever want.
Well, she is popular. She was, she was in Thunderpants.
She was in Thunderpants. That was the last time we saw her, right?
Yeah, forget Bend It Like Beckham.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did Bend It Like Beckham after Thunderpants. Yeah.
I feel like there was another one that she's been in.
Keira, we love you. Oh yeah, no. Was she in Pan? No.
No, that was
That was Rooney Mara.
Yeah.
I feel like we have had Keira after.
It feels right, but
Keira, we love you. Edward, welcome on board. I can't wait to see more of you.
We've
Michael
always
Peña,
loved
good
you.
to see you again. Will Smith, good to see you again.
Oh, Helen,
Michael,
great
Mikey,
to meet you.
How you doing?
Mickey,
Mickey.
wonderful to enjoy your presence. Oh, and Naomi Harris, welcome on board.
Time Guy, rock on.
Kate Winslet.
Oh, Kate.
ya.
Well, I'm prepared that we're going to see her again. I don't have a movie in mind, but I'm prepared. You remember there's this time where Kate Winslet was in every movie ever? And then she wasn't anymore?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But did you guys see The Dressmaker?
No, but that was that era.
It was fucking excellent.
It was it? I heard good things, but it
because-
just looked like, oh, it's one of those Australian movies.
It was, but it was a good Australian movie, which is because look, I'll level with you. Sometimes our
It
movies,
had Shane Jacobson in it. How good
Australia.
could it have been?
but he wasn't in it that much. which
Oh,
is
well,
good.
then that's okay then.
It was.
I remember when people told me the movie Kenny was good, and then I watched it.
You
and
didn't
I
like
was
Kenny. Okay, to be fair, when I watched it, I was like 13.
I wish I had a visual representation of my expression just then, but
It's
basically
it's
I
like
am
Tony
bewildered.
Stark folded arms eye roll kind of gif.
It was
kinda like that.
We'll do Kenny one day, I'm pretty sure, just to redeem it, because people like that movie too.
When
Got
I
a
saw
TV
it, I
show.
was 13, so I was all into toilet humor. You know.
You never heard of Kenny?
I'm not sure if
Kenny's the movie where Shane Jacobson plays
It's
a toilet
plumber,
man
yeah.
who has a lisp. And people genuinely thought he was a man who loves, is a toilet guy. Like a guy who sells toilets and makes toilets.
Mm-hmm.
And people thought, since no one heard of Shane Jacobson, the Australian comedic actor, oh, this guy's like they literally called him the Sacha Baron Cohen of Australia. Because he confused people by pretending to be a real-life toilet man. But the problem was, at least with Borat, right? With Borat. Because that's the one that launched Sacha Baron Cohen worldwide.
Yep.
You know, you had the Ali G into House and the show and all that movie, blah, blah, blah. But Borat had a plot, right? But the plot didn't get in the way of the fact that he was pretending to be this person to embarrass people. In Kenny, the embarrassing people thing is very, very much a side note in the romantic plot of Kenny falling in love.
That was a romantic tumor in terms of plot. It didn't need to be
But
there.
Luke was like, why don't you like Kenny? He's just admitting
Right.
the whole gist of the movie
okay.
was pointless.
One part of the movie was bad, so obviously the whole thing
You
is
mean
bad.
you mean
Yes,
the
that's exactly
central
what I said.
thrust of the movie, the spine, the
It's not
heart?
a central thrust.
It's a romance movie,
It is
Luke.
not.
So earlier, look,
I watched it, Luke.
I watched it too. It's not a romantic movie. It's a comedy.
It is. It's a romantic
more
movie,
about
and the comedy
him
comes from
than-
the fact that he's hopeless. In love, but he sells toilets and has a lisp, and he's like, "My name is Kenny, and I sell
He
toilets."
doesn't meet the woman he's interested in until like halfway through.
Yeah, but he's desperately in love.
What? Okay.
Luke,
I mean,
can we?
it took Borat a long time to meet Pamela Anderson, guys.
High five.
It did.
And little did you know he was in love with his manager the whole time.
What's his manager's name again? In Borat?
Fat guy.
Azamat.
Azamat.
Bagatov.
Azamat.
Of course you remember. Of course you remember that detail. Of course.
Yeah, first name, last name.
Of a very small character in a movie.
I mean, he's not small.
No, he's a very big man. He's got many roles.
He's also like the second most prominent character.
No. Borat has other prominent characters that I can't be bothered to think of because I'm wrong, but I just don't want to admit it. No, Helen Mirren's eyes are as blue as her scarf.
Yes.
I've never noticed how blue her eyes are. It's highlighting Will Smith's brown eyes.
Will Smith is very tall.
No. No, he isn't. Helen Mirren's just very short because she is a small English woman.
I'm going to look up how tall Will Smith
She's actually taller than Will Smith. He's on like a bunch of stairs of a Muppet.
of a Muppet.
Yeah, that's a good one, Bartek.
I was just going to say boxes, but then I thought, call back, why not?
Why not?
It's comedy.
So can we talk about the twists? So
Sure.
the
I
twist
think we've
that
already
you
mentioned,
mentioned prominently
He's
was
188 centimeters.
I'm taller than him. So yeah, Will Smith is pretending that his wife is a stranger to him. And so is she, because he wrote a letter after their daughter died, because, yes, Will Smith's 6-year-old daughter is, in fact, her 6-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I figured out the twist very, very, very early on, like, as immediately, when Michael Peña said 6-year-old daughter, and I'm like, okay, Will Smith's daughter was 6, and then she said my 6-year-old daughter, I'm like, oh, okay. But Bartek and I both had a similar thing. In fact, I wrote it in my notes. My notes was, I think Bartek will figure out that they're a couple due to the fact that they are both black.
And that's not quite what happened. Basically, when we first see her, he's looking through the window at the support session. And I did have the thought there, like, oh, he must be looking at his wife, in this support session that he's separated from.
Yeah.
And then later on, when he joins the session and they act like strangers, I was like, oh, my mistake, they're not husband and wife, and I just let it go. And then towards the end, we discover, oh, no, wait, they were husband and wife.
Look, and I just want to say, the thing about being like, they're both black, so they're obviously a couple, it does sound racist, and that's because Hollywood is a racist institution. You know, there's this whole big thing. I know, it's a shock.
I'm just agreeing.
You know, there's a big thing, though, that people get really upset about is, in Hollywood movies, you can never seemingly have a black man and a white woman as a couple, only in movies in which that's the central thesis. But even in things like that, like we did Guess Who, which is about a black woman and a white guy.
Yeah.
Right?
We also
But
did,
but most movies would rather cover the black woman with the white guy more than the black guy with the white woman. Because it makes people feel uncomfortable. It's this thing where it's like, it's harder. Movies don't do that dynamic often, if at all. They'll usually do it the other way around.
Remember Lakeside Drive? The whole premise was about
Lakeview Terrace?
Lakeview Terrace. Lakeside Drive, like, fucking...
Yeah, exactly. And she's a black woman, white guy.
And Samuel Jackson is angry.
Exactly, but see how that movie did so it's very unusual. So that's when we see,
And also,
the only black actress in the movie, and the only real black actor in the movie, they must have been together.
And even just looking at Will Smith, I feel like every time I've seen him in a film in a relationship, it's always just been, black woman. So.
No. Wild Wild West, he was trying to get with Salma Hayek.
Well, I know that there are films where he's
Can't
had
blame
like
him.
romantic tension.
Can't blame him. Salma Hayek is gorgeous.
I know that there are films where he's had
You guys
like.
seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
Fuck yes, we have, Luke. Let Bartek
I
go.
haven't actually.
Sorry,
Sorry.
it just had to.
You idiot.
I'm not an idiot. I'm very smart. Actually.
I'm out of here, guys.
Yeah,
You
I'll
haven't
get you
seen
a
it.
copy, Bartek. You're gonna.
It's
love
pretty good. Go on.
I was just retorting that I've seen films where he's had romantic tension with white women, but like I feel like his partners have always been.
Yeah. What movie? White woman, romantic tension. I'm trying to think.
I feel maybe romantic tension like flirting. I meant more so. Like I feel like it happened in Hitch.
I'll take your word for it. I mean,
I've seen Hitch, but it's been a long time.
I'm trying to think of other things. Where Will Smith is paired up with a white woman. Oh! Focus. The one with him and Margot Robbie.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're both conmen. Like, not a great movie, but one worth covering. Maybe one worth covering on the show. It was a fun little movie. Like, if you want to see a movie where you just see two actors with fucking amazing chemistry, and they're just showing it. It reminds me of those old screwball comedy movies where it's like Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn had great chemistry. The plot, fuck that.
So are they actually a couple in that, or just like partners in crime?
No, it's kind of like she screwed him. She found like it's basically Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, where it's a space, but more to the male female, where it's like Will Smith is the ultimate huckster, but then he gets tricked by her, and then years later he sees her again. He's like, I'm gonna trick her, and then they kind of fall in love, but kind of mutual acquaintance, like respecting of each other's craft and all that kind of stuff. So it's like one of those movies, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Because Margot Robbie's a great actress. She's attractive. He's a great actor. He's very attractive. So it's like watching two attractive people who are great actors is always a fun time.
It is.
Like Michael Peña.
Mikey.
He's an attractive man. Have you seen Chips?
No.
Oh man, you haven't seen Chips?
I have seen. He was in Battle Los Angeles, wasn't he?
It wasn't everyone. He was also in that
not
great
wrong.
movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, where it's him and Jake Gyllenhaal are cops,
I
and
was
they're in a
about to
car.
say that. That's the first film I've seen of him, and I love that film. It's End of Watch.
End of Watch, which is a David Ayer movie, the guy who did Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Yeah, just let that sink in.
I haven't seen that one.
Suicide Squad? It's got Margot Robbie and Will Smith.
You know what? I actually
Will Smith.
I actually did watch yesterday the Search for the Worst of it.
Ah, nice. I like this guy. He's a great character actor. I can't remember what else I've seen him from, but you know how there are those character actors that you just see them and go, oh yeah, that guy, I've seen him play this kind of thing before, like the pencil pusher guy?
Yeah, but you know, Ryan, white people look the same.
They do.
Like Cracked Milk.
Like old banana chips.
But I was going to say before, Kate Winslet, there was this period of time where she was in every movie with like the Hunger Game movies. Was it Hunger Games? No, Divergent.
Elizabeth Banks was in the
Divergent.
Hunger Games.
The Divergent movie. She was the bad guy.
Never saw those. Were they any good?
No, I've never seen them either, Luke. But like saying that
I
she
wanna
was in
see shit like
everything,
that.
and like she was in this movie and that movie, and there was one that we said before that we saw her in, and it's just like she's in everything. There's one. I can't wait to cover it on the show. With it's about crooked cops, and she plays an evil Russian gangster. And I just want to see Kate Winslet, who looks like I love Kate Winslet, but she doesn't look like a badass Russian gangster lady. She looks like a woman who has kids and just wants to stay home, or wants kids and wants to stay home. Remember that she was in that Steve Jobs movie as Polish lady, and a
Is
lot
it
of
the one with Ashton Kutcher or the other one?
no, the good one,
Right.
the one with Michael Fassbender.
This is a great TV.
She
setup,
got
by the
Oscar
way.
nominated for that. So that was that year, 2016. She got Oscar nominated.
Okay.
Wow, amazing.
Jumping back to the guy in this scene, I do like him from I guess how do I put it, from a conceptual level, a person that's being directed, because I feel like he's a character. He really sticks out for me in this film because it feels like he's been given an action, and that's
All he needs
That's
to do.
all he needs.
He's the Terminator. He will not rest until he gets that paperwork signed.
he needs an answer out of Will Smith, and he's just constantly asking, "Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?"
He's very
It's like
determined.
It's like the start of Blade Runner, where he is doing the test, and he's
Yeah.
like, when you find a turtle on its back in the desert, and the guy's like, it's like, when you find a turtle on his back in the desert, do you help it? Like, I love this scene. I love the color palette. Like, Will Smith and Kate Winslet are both wearing green, but they're different shades of green, meaning that they're more connecting on an emotional level than he is with the other two.
Took some time to work that out.
Yeah, it did.
Ooh.
Time is the terrain that we ride on between death and love.
Nice. Did you come up with that yourself?
I did.
Nice.
But, this movie has twists, like we were saying. Like, the twist is, like, the actors that these people hired aren't actors. They're actually the concepts. And obviously, they don't know this yet, but we kind of get a figuring that out a little bit throughout the movie. It kind of slowly builds up until a nice crescendo.
This is a really lovely speech from Will Smith's character, by the way.
Oh, it's because he's saying they were right to do this.
Yeah.
For those people in the audience that were still a bit nagging, their brain was nagging, saying this is shithouse, this is wrong. Will Smith said it's okay, and then, you know what, it is okay, because Will Smith said it was, and Edward Norton looks like a pencil. And, everyone feels okay now.
Huh.
I love Will Smith's...
I'm not sure it would go that way in real life, but it's still kind of nice.
But Will Smith said... If Will Smith said it was okay in real life, then it is okay. If Will Smith came up to you and said, Uncle, everything's okay, you're like, you know what?
You're right.
You're right. I am the Fresh Prince.
So,
The
you know
Fresh
what?
Prince
You're right.
rules
Sorry for
itself.
stealing your mail. Yeah.
You know what I really hate? In Hollywood, or not in Hollywood, with things... Nice moments are always filled with, like, in TV shows and movies, always filled with, like, this little caveat that's a lie. Like, there's that moment in The Fresh Prince that everyone loves where he's talking about his dad, right? And he cries, and then the uncle hugs him. And people do that thing of, this means a lot to Will Smith, because Will Smith's dad...
there's that misnomer thing.
Where Will
it's
Smith's
like he got
dad...
sad for real and they hugged and it was
because Will Smith's dad is actually like that in real life. It's like, no, he isn't. Will Smith's dad is like the most supportive guy ever. And, during this movie... That even highlights it, because Will Smith was feeling genuine emotions because his dad was dying at the time. I did not look up if he did die, unfortunately, but I assume that he might have. But it's like, he was dying, so Will Smith was actually doing this for real, like, processing grief, going through these genuine emotions that his character was going through, because I wouldn't say Will Smith's necessarily a method actor, but for this role, the method was forced upon him because of real-life circumstances.
Oh, yeah, there was also that trivia point about how he really felt like a family with this cast and crew, didn't he?
Really?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
he really loved this cast and crew.
I mean, I would.
And he invited himself to one of their family dinners.
Naomi Harris's grandmother was cooking some Jamaican food, and he just forced himself there.
He won't stop. He's got one foot inside the door.
Wild Wild West. Chicka, chicka, quabba. And they're like,
Will,
oh my god.
You can't come in here. Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no. I love that. I love the idea that Will Smith rocked up with Willow and Jaden and Jada Pickett, and they just
other one?
all rocked.
Yeah, he's got like a third
the one
child,
that's
right?
called, like,
Simon.
James
I
or
can't
something.
remember.
James.
Because you know about the kids' names, right? Like the first two. Willow, Will.
Ah. Yep.
Jaden, Jada.
But
But then when they're the third kid, they're like, fuck.
What are we going to do?
I guess we'll have to call him Jimmy.
Jimmy's a good name.
Jimmy Scraggly.
Jimmy Scraggs.
Jimmy
They should have.
Jimmy.
They should have.
Jimmy Scraggs Smith.
Jimmy Scraggsmith. Of the Lower East Scraggsmiths, don't you know?
and his career is sewing. Hey guys, I just love sewing.
I just love...
She likes the music, he likes the music and the acting. I like sewing.
I'm
And
so
just-
into it.
But yeah, this movie has that twist of the concepts are actually the real people. They're not actually actors. They're actually the concepts, and the wife twist, which sometimes people don't like twists in movies, but this one I think they did it pretty well. What about you guys? What did you think about these twists? Did you see twists coming? Did you feel their satisfaction when they did?
If you're referring to the one at the end,
All the twists.
I don't know if there were that many twists.
There's-
other than that.
I mean, the two major ones are, their husband and wife, and these are actually. The
Oh,
concepts.
okay, yeah, no, that one I was very impressed with. But the one about them actually being these concepts at the end, I was a bit... Feels like it was thrown in there at the end.
But Luke, it wasn't.
I
feels like
sort of
skeptical.
saw it coming.
Luke, we finally get to meet his wife. Isn't that a twist? I thought we weren't going to see her.
I don't know if it's a twist, Ryan. I think it's just like a long delayed thing.
Well, he actually did have a wife.
Yeah, twist.
Oh, what if
Twist,
The
Michael.
baby
baby.
did come from somewhere.
Twist, Michael Peña is not a kidnapper. He actually has a kid and a wife. The twist is Will Smith got over his pain by accepting his pain. Luke, what is it? The real twist is a completely unknown character gives one of the best inspirational closing monologues in the entire movie, where we'd never met this woman before, and it would be more natural if it came from Will Smith, but in fact it's just a woman. That's a twist, Luke. It's going against expectations.
Yes.
Man, I want an Apple computer. I don't know why. I'm just really feeling like I want to buy Apple products. Mainly a MacBook Air. I don't know why. It's just really coming over me. Guys, I'm going to phone up Apple support right now.
Ryan, we're doing an episode.
Guys, I'm sorry, but I just got a hankering for some MacBook Air.
Ryan, I'm totally on board
You'll
with
get
you
there
doing
in
it
the
now.
Dude, I don't hear it on board from Luke, though.
Well, I'm undecided. Perhaps
Luke,
we could invest
I'm on
But
board.
Luke, I'm
In
feeling
some
like I need
TiVo.
now another
Aw,
MacBook
that's just
Air.
cute.
The MacBook Air that he has? Yeah, I agree. It is cute.
Look at that beautiful placement.
Oh my
A
god.
plus job.
I just love the fact that...
Job? Steve Jobs?
Oh!
Steve Jobs!
Apple?
I just mentioned that Steve
Jobs
Jobs
and
movie
growth.
before that had Kate Winslet in it.
And I
Man,
mentioned the other one.
with Ashton Kutcher from Guess Who?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I really need an Apple product.
This
Just
is all
let me
coming
phone
together,
up
guys.
Apple. What's the number?
APPLE.
No, I was gonna... let me do it. What's the number? 000-911. Hello? Yes, there is an emergency. Lack of Apple products in my house. Yeah, I know.
Mr.
I
Sliwinski,
know that...
I haven't said a word yet.
It's okay. I'm speaking over you because you know what to write down.
Yes.
My address.
Yes.
Apple products. Send
Yes.
them now. Also send it in a fire truck. I just imagine you have one because you are Apple after all.
Well, we got a bit of a problem. You see,
What?
it's going to take a bit of time.
Time?
Our driver just died.
Death?
Death?
And he loved someone.
He loved someone.
Wait,
Yeah.
but did he die falling down a flight of funky stairs?
Yes. Cushiony Muppet stairs.
Oh no.
Guys, I understand what we are saying, but here's the thing. I just love Apple products, and I need them or I will die. So you have to deliver them now before my time runs out. Guys, give me
Designer
Apple products
drugs.
now. What I'm saying is, this
Buy some
episode
designer
brought to you by
drugs.
Audible. Audible.com.
This is audible.
Every podcast is brought to you by Audible, I feel. Not us, though. We're the last bastion of good peace. We are not brought by Audible. We are
Well-
brought to you by Apple products. I want some in my mouth. They're tasty. Apples. Yum, yum. Better than romaine lettuce, apparently.
Oh
Green
my
or
god,
red?
romaine lettuce. Sewing needles.
No, the E. coli.
The E. coli.
Cauliflower.
So, cauliflower, my least favorite flower.
It's not actually a flower, you know, right?
Oh, is it like flour, the baking flour?
It's not like that flower either.
That explains why my cookies weren't so good.
Cauliflower
Luke
cookies.
gave me the most resigned.
What's it? Ryan's adventures in baking.
Just like you mix things I never thought of, like cauliflower.
I can't
and
wait to start my
coffee
baking
cookies.
YouTube channel where I'm like, cooking with Ryan. First, guys, grab your cauliflower.
Grab your colanders and strap yourselves the fuck in.
Yeah, and I'm wearing those googly glasses with the eyes on the spring. Goodbye, time.
Goodbye, time.
Shithouse or
I have way
outhouse?
too much of you on my hands.
Wow, Luke, you want me to cut off your hands? Is that the solution to the problem?
Maybe.
Okay, Luke, I've got a sharp pair of scissors. I will have to cut off your hands, I'm afraid.
Alright.
Now, Luke,
Anesthetic.
quick question.
Question.
When you were a small child going to an ultra private school in the city,
Yeah.
and
The American flag above
and
you?
your dad cheated and got divorced, and
Yeah,
you
I
know,
remember that distinctly.
yeah, and then you were like, Dad, I'm going to go to Hamilton with Brad.
She's already you've already been to Hamilton with Brad.
No, but it's like, Dad, I'm going again. Did your dad threaten to stalk you every day until you accepted him as your dad again?
Not only did he do that, but he also showed me on his phone the app that he uses to track my mobile phone.
Was it an Apple phone?
It was a Samsung.
Oh, fuck, your dad. That's
I'm
why
sorry.
he's a cunt.
He's pure evil, and he needs to be stopped, Ryan. He needs to be stopped.
So what did Sam sing?
Get it, Luke? Do you get it?
yes,
The
Ryan,
joke is it's not an Apple product. That's the joke.
Yes, Ryan, I
Also, the joke earlier you said, Ryan, about Apple products in the mouth was good too.
Thank you. I thought you were not going to acknowledge it. And I thought
Ow.
it's funny because it's true.
Now we have to think of a Nokia pun.
Well, Knock knock.
How old do you suppose his daughter is?
Oh, she's definitely 11 years old.
Like, because he just mentioned like
No
something
less
about
than
her
2.
internship. Like, it's a bit young for an internship, aren't you?
Sorry.
What?
My brain immediately jumped to the most inappropriate thing Luke could say. I wasn't paying attention. Like, I was looking at Bartek, like, I'm going to say something, but I was allowing Luke to speak. And I thought he was like, she's a little bit young to have a period. I'm like, whoa, but then he didn't say that. He
I
talked
did
about
not.
internships. I'm like, Luke,
'Cause
she
he
might
just
be on the
mentioned-
cusp of a period. I don't know.
Mention her internship, and if I say she's about 11. It's a bit young for an internship.
For
isn't
what kind of internship,
I
though,
don't
Luke?
know, though.
Maybe she's interning
More
to be
information.
11.
it? Now, not everyone makes it to 11, so I hope you've brought your
Or
A game.
she's being an intern at Apple, the company that brings you such products as iPod and Pad.
You know who didn't make it to 11? Will Smith's daughter.
Oh, right.
Oh,
How gauche.
yeah.
Does he have a dead daughter?
No, in the movie.
Can I get a gif of
Oh.
Mikey just clapping?
You said Will Smith, so I was like, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Harold's daughter.
Howard.
Oh,
Howard.
now I get
Howard.
it.
Howard.
Sorry, I was thinking Harold and Harold and Maude.
just
Hey,
call
do
him
you remember
Hazza.
that episode of The Simpsons when Ron Howard's in it, and then Homer remembers
There's
him
several
saying,
episodes where Ron Howard's in it.
But it's the one where Homer remembers him saying, "Homer, we're out of vodka."
Yeah.
That makes me laugh.
I was thinking the other one where Homer wants to throw himself off a building and then he lands in Ron Howard's car. And Ron
Yeah.
Howard's taking his daughter
It's like,
to his zoo.
dumbass. What do you
He's
want?
taking him to a zoo where he's like, we're going to see the such and such kind of panda. It's like, oh, really? I haven't heard of that. Where's that? It's like, no, this is a special zoo.
Like, it's for rich people,
Oh,
the
yeah,
animals
yeah.
that people like you haven't even heard of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This movie has a lot of moving pieces to the point in which, what did you guys think of the final shot of the movie? Because you know what they say, final shots are really important. What did you
Was
think?
that the one where it was panning up in the park?
Yeah. What did you think of that 57-second long shot? I timed it because I thought this shot is so impressively long on something that is very mundane to look at. It must have some poignant meaning to it. Guys, what did you think of the final shot in which it kind of panned up from a bridge to a bit more of the bridge?
Well,
It
Ryan,
reminded me of that clip of Noel Gallagher singing Wonderwall, and he just holds this one note for what felt like 57 seconds.
Yeah, it just shows talent. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying, right? Okay, what about
Yes,
you,
that's
Bartek?
exactly
Final shot, what
I'm
did it, imbue on you?
I know that with that description, there is an implication there that, 57 seconds is too
Saxons.
long.
We know what you're implicating in
There
your
were 57
brain.
Saxons
He wants
that day.
57 sexes.
I know
No
that,
longer 57.
I know that 57 seconds, seconds was correct, seems like an odd... it is an odd number, but an odd as an unusual number to give. Like, why that? Why not something, why not use a prime number? But what you have to understand is that despite there being a 7 there, 57 is not a prime number.
Yeah.
Therefore, it makes it a completely valid, length of time to give it. And if it's valid, then it's good.
So you thought the ending was good?
I thought the ending was fantastic.
But what did you think the subtext was to that shot? When they storyboarded that shot and they're like, this is how we end our emotional movie. This shot is going to communicate so much. What do you think they're communicating?
Well, I think that just jumps back to the whole idea of collateral beauty, which I interpreted as, the love lives on despite death and time.
Yeah, YOLO.
You can look at it as, in the context of the film, people have died, and in fact another character is dying, but life and love will live on.
Does it find a way?
Sure, yeah, it finds
Life
a way.
finds a way.
In fact, I don't even think it necessarily has to find a way
Did-
because it's just so ever-present.
Did either of you see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom?
No, but one day we might cover it.
No, I hope so. Because Jeffy is in it for a little sliver.
Jeff's in a lot of things these days, Luke.
Thor Ragnarok was great.
Did you want to let Bartek continue, or did you want to go about Jeff's film career a bit more?
No, well,
He was in a film that we covered one time as the boss, and that movie was The Switch with Jason Bateman. He was Jason Bateman's best friend and his boss, possibly the best role he ever played. being Jason Bateman's friend is a hard role to play, but being his boss, even harder.
So we had so many like friendships with bosses and funny.
I
bosses.
know, it's so hard to pick your favorite boss in a movie.
It's hard, yeah. And also, I'm having a hard time thinking back from before.
Don't worry, the Switch was this time last year.
Love. No, that was like November last year.
Yeah.
Oh, Down with Love, because that one had a prominent like boss.
Niles from Frasier, yeah.
Friends relationship. Yeah, I think that's my answer to your question, Ryan. Did you have a sub question to that?
No, I don't know.
I feel like
Luke interrupted a lot of things.
Yeah,
What
I
I'm saying
do.
is Luke's to blame.
I feel like you asked another question.
Maybe if I
Luke
had
is to blame.
Maybe if I had an Apple product, I would not be so interested.
Man, I'm really hankering for an Apple product.
Can we get some apples up in here?
Excuse me, Mr. Ghost of Steve Jobs. I need an Apple product real quick. Do you have headphones? You do?
Here you go,
Do they
Ryan.
have cords now? They do. Wow. Did you hear about that? So Apple is selling wireless headphones, right? But guess what? Now you can buy the wire, so you don't lose your wireless headphones.
So you have
Wow,
choices.
so we've come full circle.
The snake has consumed itself.
One thing that I found interesting, actually, when I watched the trailer after the film,
What do you suppose the camera is at
was
that
that
perspective?
Luke
His mouth.
Yes.
Luke. Sorry, Bartek. If you want a genuine answer, here's the answer. You see, Will Smith had his Apple iPhone in his breast
An
pocket.
Apple iPhone, you say?
Using that extremely good camera, and
Yeah,
you know
so
that's what happened there.
quality.
So Bartek,
it was their really good friends, committing more crimes.
yeah, go on.
Crimes. Yeah, because I watched the trailer after the film,
As did I.
and I found it interesting that they did show the shot
Of the daughter more?
of the daughter, being spun, but they showed the shot of it on a TV.
Yeah.
When we saw it earlier in the film, it was like an actual flashback filter vision kind of thing.
Yeah, we did.
So it would be interesting if you remembered the fact that it was shown on a TV. Because then it would mean, that was recorded. Is this going to come back somehow? We haven't seen this shot of it on a TV yet.
Now, it's up to that part of the show in which I have to tell an embarrassing thing about myself while watching this.
Like a misconception or something.
Did you ever wonder how his daughter died if you didn't figure out the twist? Did you wonder...
Well, I didn't figure out the twist, but obviously...
Did you wonder how his daughter died?
I think I either wondered or I thought I missed it.
Okay, so my theory was...
What, she was spun into a building or something?
he accidentally lost his grip and he spun her into traffic.
Oh, you thought that the flashback was related to her death, not happy times.
Oh,
Not a
wow.
happy moment before she died.
Right.
I thought he lost his grip at the dog park and he spun her and dogs ate her.
So you were trying to justify
Seven
the dog
sausage
park
dogs.
still.
I was trying so
So
hard.
that's why you're asking why it's at a dog park. Okay.
Why was he at a dog park? It's like, why was Bruce Cook at the music school? We'll never know, but there's an answer that someone has and they're just not telling us. Guys, symbolism.
Symbolism.
Look at it go.
Everything's falling down. Like London Bridge is falling down.
I'm falling down.
Were you panicked when the time guy...
At the disco, yeah.
Were you panicked when the time guy
Panic at the
smashed
discount.
part of his dominoes?
This looks like a
I
swimming
wasn't.
pool.
It looks like a swimming pool.
Just the colours of the
It
dominoes.
looks like a
remind me of
hospital corridor, Luke. What are you on
a swimming
about?
pool with lane ropes, right?
Did you know it was Helen Mirren as the woman
I
or as the
suspected.
person that said
I feel like that was...
Collateral Beauty?
Oh, right, you were doing an accent. I thought you were speaking some foreign language, like Tela Beauty. I was like, what?
Wait, what does that mean in Polish, Bartek?
It's not Polish, fun fact.
I don't know, I can't take your word for that. Sometimes I ask you Polish things and you don't know the answer.
I
So, in
promise.
fact, you might be wrong. You're going to get an email, which we do have an email address, which is spitandpolished@gmail.com. Wink, wink. And someone's going to be like, actually, it was Polish. It said, fuck you, Bartek.
Well, I didn't hear my name.
I love when Helen
I
Mirren
did
delivers
think-
these lines.
I did
Subtitles,
think-
screenshots.
I did think.
Sorry, Bartek,
I
continue.
did think that it was...
Fun fact was he didn't.
Fun fact, though, I did.
Will's not here.
I did think that... I mean, he's in this shot.
Wearing some nice shoes.
I know which guy it is.
I did think that it would be Helen Mirren, because who else would it have been?
I thought it would have been...
no one else
I knew it was, but I thought Keira Knightley would have been the one saying that. Since she's love.
If I'm going with my interpretation that, you know, that the main thing with Collateral Beauty is that love lives on despite death and time, then I would see that as being more thematically appropriate, but I don't know, the fact that she wasn't playing death kind of just made me think like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I understand. Hey,
Yes?
what do you think they did with that money?
Evaporated.
They all took the $20,000,
Groceries, bills...
but they're not real, so do
They
you
probably
think they...
invested it into things that relate to their aspect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, like time would have
War,
gone off and given...
time wasting,
would have gone
divorce
and...
court.
No. War. Yeah, definitely war will be one.
Oh, the four horsemen
Apple
things.
wristwatches will be
Ah,
one.
yes.
And then
Love.
prostitutes.
Physical love.
With Apple watches.
Well,
Okay.
the prostitutes...
And
Wait,
they're veterans.
Pulling
wait a
out.
moment. The prostitutes are sent out to war
Well,
to
still-
save Apple wristwatches. Man, I really want an Apple product.
It's a good movie, Ryan. She
It's
wrote the
a
screenplay.
great movie.
And we're pulling out, and we stopped.
And we're pulling out till that guy exits the frame of the
And
shot in 3, 2,
1.
1.
Great job.
They waited a second.
Yeah.
Oh, what were the
so-
last words of this going to be again?
I mean, you were talking about it.
Yeah. What was it, Bartek? You remember
Was
it?
it the Stranger Thing?
Yeah, no, it was like, I think this was a mistake. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, the movie has unfortunately ended. We are now going to give our reviews and rating of the film. So, I'll go first. This movie was a pleasant surprise. It really did tug at the heartstrings, but also the emotional strings. Not just the heart, but the mind as well. And maybe a bit at the belly. I'm feeling a bit hungry for some more Will Smith action in my life, because this is one of those
Well,
films...
that's down in the groin, Ryan.
and the mouth. Yeah, I don't, don't want to be the...
I guess both have...
We're the
fingers,
bottoms, Bartek. It's in the asshole.
Power bottoms, Ryan.
Well, yeah, the power bottoms, but
And
not the
it doesn't
dick.
necessarily mean anal, but okay.
No, power bottom. For man on man, I'm pretty sure.
Well, not so much on men or women, then.
But Will Smith's a man!
Ah, you're right.
Unless he's a woman, have you checked?
Anyway.
I don't know.
So, my review is that, and my rating is I have to give this a Will Smith as a woman out of me being an extreme power bottom.
Now we're both presuming.
No, I have knowledge. So, Bartek, let's hear from you.
Yes.
I could tell you were looking at Luke. And
Yeah, I
I was
was
like,
gonna-
oh,
But
it's gonna
then-
be
You gotta pull the old switcheroo!
Yeah, I really was going to go with Luke, but then he wiggled his tongue between his teeth and
like
lifted
it.
his head up with a sneer, and I just went, I'm not having that. I'm definitely not having
Put
that.
it away. Put it away.
What if you looked at me when you said Bartek and you saw me doing like an even grosser version of
Well,
that
then I would pick myself again.
to finish your review?
Yeah, to make an extra review. Bartek, let's hear from you.
I feel like I've said a lot about this film philosophically, but I really enjoyed it. I think that's an aspect that we can't look over. The enjoyment aspect of a film.
Yeah.
We are doing the show Unappreciated Masterpieces because we want people to go out and see these films, not for preconceptual reasons, not for, seeing how bad it could be because it's on this show, or I've heard people say it's bad, or it's a lying film, and lying is bad, and bad is a word that a film can be, so maybe this film's bad.
Maybe.
We want people to understand that it doesn't matter what preconceptions there were. We don't want people to realize. We don't want people to think that just because the trailer lied that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that it's on the level of just a white lie, because it was a deception,
I mean, it did have a black actor, so yeah.
but I think that this trailer was going against the culture of trailers, like the counterculture of trailers. People complain about trailers revealing too much or making it not worth seeing the film. And on a level you think that is the case with it, but there's sort of a twist there that, oh no, we were misleading you. You're actually getting a unique experience that you weren't expecting. And that's a great gift to be given. Because this isn't like... I can understand more, even on your level, Ryan, like with Metal Gear Solid 2. It's a video game where the runtime isn't predetermined like a film, so you're with it all the way, and if you're not enjoying it, then that's a long slog. But this is a, 96-minute film.
That's true.
The runtime is determined. You'll be done. You'll be given something in a fixed period of time that you weren't expecting, that you can enjoy, that you can appreciate. And people just aren't doing that. And I can understand from, the film and the trailer aren't innocent in all this, because if a trailer's meant to sell you on a film, then that is what you want to watch. But I don't. It's just it's kind of like a catch-22. It's just something you can't win in. But now that we're here in 2018, going on 2019, even we know better. And we're telling you that we know better, and that now you know better. And now you, this is the conclusion, can watch Collateral Beauty.
Thank you. What's your rating?
I give Collateral Beauty the only rating that I can give it.
Yeah.
Love that lives no matter what.
Great. Now, Luke, let's hear from you.
Okay, so the
Bring
trailer...
yourself
Hello, here I am.
in.
The closer he gets to the microphone,
The
the older
trailer
it gets.
and the inherent lie within
So,
it.
Bartek, Jeff Goldblum's career is pretty great,
Oh
right?
boy, can I get in on this?
No, continue on, Luke.
The inherent lie in the trailer did not bother me over much because I watched the movie first. But obviously, back in the day, people would have seen that first and taken away a wholly different impression. I think you can look at it in different ways. You can look at it as oh man, they more or less lied to us. We came in under under a wrong impression. Or you can see it as a clever kind of gotcha moment, like subverting audience expectations. That's always been a big thing. It's not a bad thing, but I know not everyone's going to look at it that way. As to the actual movie itself, the thing is, with such a great cast and such a short runtime, relatively, I feel like it was spread a bit thin. I feel like we didn't get enough out of everyone. I mean, Helen Mirren, Edward Norton, they probably did, but others...
There wasn't as much of a balance of getting out,
I
right?
agree. Yeah,
Okay.
the guy playing Time, I feel like... I swear, he was only in it for 3 scenes, it felt
You
like.
didn't have enough time with him?
Yes.
That's pretty
Your
clever,
jokes would be
actually.
the death of me, but I do love them. Overall, I did enjoy this movie, although...
Do you love it?
I don't want to say I loved it.
But it's an unappreciated masterpiece, right?
Did you death it?
He timed it,
need
though.
more time.
He was like, it's 100.
Oh, man, we're still here.
It's an hour and 36 minutes.
And the fourth
47
thing,
seconds.
did you... And this is a verb, I guess. Did you funky stares it?
Oh, I funky stared all the way to the top.
He
And
funky
back as well.
stared it, like he had a
Yeah.
funky
I
stare.
You know what?
wouldn't-
Yeah.
an unbroken gaze. Here's the thing, this would have been a great opportunity for Will Smith to show us more of those sort of emotions and characteristics that he sort of kind of touched on in Pursuit of Happiness, but again, shorter runtime and having to divvy up screen time between a lot of main characters. Didn't really get that opportunity. Not saying I didn't believe it, but I'm saying if we'd had more
It's
time.
Edward Norton's fault he didn't get an Oscar.
I
agree.
guess it's tough with Will Smith because that one was based on a true story.
Yeah,
so there was a lot more.
Yeah, it was a lot more of him.
Yeah.
At any rate, I did enjoy this outing, although I can see why we talked about this before we started recording, how this film showed at Sundance, and it was kind of at the tail end of the whole people liking the whole Sundance breakout hit.
Yeah.
And people were sort of not really appreciating the sort of
Because there are
this
so
sort
many
of movie anymore.
indie films coming out.
Yeah,
lately
with
that are just
this
really
message
good,
about life and the living of it, and I can kind of see that because it didn't really do anything to distinguish itself from other films in that genre. At any rate, I did enjoy it. I give it a Will out of Smith.
I knew he was going to go there.
Thank you.
I didn't.
You know, there's an alternative universe in which this movie is the exact same, but it's Seth Green as Will Smith's character.
That would be interesting.
Bartek, what did the internet have to share
Yes.
with us on the majesty that
Do tell.
was Collateral Beauty?
The first comment is, Seth Green should have been the main character.
It's weird. It's weird because it's actually from Will Smith.
Willard.
Yeah, Will Smith is short for Willard.
Yeah, like Larry is short for Bartholomew.
Yeah, man.
Okay. The first comment from YouTube, I got them from the trailer, is, you cannot deny Will Smith an Oscar nomination after seeing that trailer.
Hashtag Oscar so white. True.
You cannot do it, but they did.
The winner is La La Land.
What?
Sorry, guys. It's actually Moonlight. Come on.
Yeah, you gaslighted me, Ryan. The next comment is, I guess some people only live their lives to dislike whatever videos they come across on YouTube.
That's true,
That
man.
seems oddly
They're parasites, we call them.
annoyed about. Like, I wonder if they leave that sort of comment on other videos.
Dude, that's from Will Smith. From his YouTube channel, willsmith.youtube.com.
It can't be him. There's no. That comment contained nothing. Wild Wild West.
My son is Jaden, and I'm disappointed.
Wild Wild West.
The next comment is, great film. For those that thought differently that the trailer was misleading, obviously did not understand the film in its entirety. The critics have failed at their jobs yet once again. Never
Again.
Never have I
I
listened...
think you just need one of those. You don't need both.
Yes, but I'm reading it as it's
No,
written.
I'm saying to the person who wrote this, yeah.
The critics have failed at their jobs yet once again. Never have I listened to critics, and for that I was rewarded. Love as if time does not exist, and you will not fear death.
That's not bad.
Helen Mirren wrote that, I know.
No funky stairs, though.
No
Yeah,
funky
not so
stairs.
much as a thing.
So, any more things you got for us?
I've got 2 more comments and an IMDb review.
Hit me in the groin.
Sorry, I was about to say nothing, but actually the first word is...
I thought you were getting excited about my groin. Hit me in the groin.
Something I would watch. Will...
But did you? Jesus.
Go on.
Something I would watch. Will not have another good movie. I mean, ever. The critics won't let him. He reminds me of the line from Bad Man. Quote, die a hero or live long enough, toil, see yourself become a villain. The critics will not allow one man to win for so long.
Okay, then.
You know that film Bad Man?
I thought for a sec Bartek, that comment was like, he reminded me of that line. It was like the character was called that line.
Yeah, it's weird. The D is nowhere next to the T button on the keyboard.
We're looking at it right
Maybe
now.
on an Apple product. I don't know. I don't have an Apple computer next to me. Let me know. Apple.com.au. Steve Jobs dead. Hashtag
Steve
sale.
Jobs.
Hashtag Hail Satan. Come.
Also, that comment never had a closing quotation, so they're still saying the quote to this day.
I'm just assuming the next review is actually their review continuing on.
Well, the final comment that I've got is, what a great film to go see for Christmas! We need a heartwarming, eye-awakening movie at a time like this. 3 happy heart eye emojis. I can't wait, I'm so excited! Thank you to everyone involved, especially heart emoji, Will Smith heart emoji, for this marvelous gift!
Okay, I'm pretty sure a really happy teenager wrote that.
Willow, I know that's you.
I sense you in the
You're
force.
like, thank God Daddy made something good for once.
And now I've come to the IMDb review that I've selected for this
What is
episode.
this? Some kind of staple of the show?
I hope this is as good as that one. I was like, take that, you idiot.
Gee, that's one of my favourite ones. I've gone back and reread that one.
Which
Can
one?
you
From
send
Monkey
it?
Bone.
Oh my God.
Right, yeah.
I was there for that, and
Henry
it was brilliant.
Selick, you stupid bastard.
Yeah, take that.
With the IMDb reviews, I think one of my favorites is still Tyler Lee Jewell.
Oh, of course.
What a saint.
But for ones that aren't grammatically, awful,
Oh, you
that
mean
one's up
the
there.
one from Zoom is pretty good. He loves Star Trek almost as much as he loved crack.
IMDb reviews are great. Let's see this one. Wow. To the negative reviewers and for the general public. So that title, I'll just say it again, is Wow to the negative reviewers and for the general public.
Yeah, well, Nagini is what they're trying-
Negative.
Negative.
Nagini's an Asian woman all along.
Yeah, she is.
I'm wondering if was that a typo by me or was that actually the typo? I think I copy pasted, so I think it's
Bartek, don't take
negative.
At
responsibility.
any rate.
Yeah. And it's got a full stop at the end too. It is from the 4th of March 2017 and it is an 8 out of 10 review.
Pretty high, pretty
All
high.
right, all right.
And it has a warning for spoilers.
Spoiler, Luke, in case you haven't seen or heard anything about the movie. Spoiler alert. Spoiler
Shit, I better look
alert.
up to see if I've sent there are spoilers on my iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check out your spoilers on your iPhone. Go on.
All right, Ryan, cut out that part where Luke looked at his iPhone for an hour. Let's just come to the review.
Okay.
Right, just
3,
just
2,
do that in
1.
editing.
Here we go.
To the person looking for an honest review, just the person, one person. First, this film, in my opinion, is fantastic.
That's true.
It is well crafted, well directed, and well acted.
Yeah.
Normally, I will follow the ratings on IMDb quite closely and rarely enjoy a film below a 7 unless it is about something I am truly interested in.
You're a killjoy, aren't you?
Now, I admit that on first viewing, the film might seem a little confusing, but if you're willing to watch it again,
Will Smithing.
then you can see how truly remarkable it is and how it was truly done a disservice by its marketing, in brackets, ironic much? But in the marketing's defense, this film is hard to market without spoiling something.
So I have to watch this film twice for it to be good.
Dude. It's artistic cinema. Go on.
So instead of trying to keep everything a secret, they expose everything which is doubted because of the beginning. Please watch and figure out whether you like it or not yourself, instead of relying on the opinions of others who have nothing good to say about anything, and in brackets, i.e., the what? Forgot about this. In brackets, i.e. the general gaming community.
What? Where did that come from?
Hashtag Gamergate.
Now, if you're reading this without...
Wait. Is it your as in...
Is it your thing? Yeah, your.
Oh, no.
Not
YORE?
As in, like, days of yore.
Yeah.
No, the possessive you're. Now, if you're reading this without seeing the movie, I would highly suggest not reading farther, because this is where the major spoilers will be stated.
Watch out, guys!
Watch out, radioactive man.
3, 2, 1, spoiler alert!
Yay!
On first watch, you might come to believe that Love, Death and Time are just actors being hired by the assholes trying to take the business away from Howard. Or you will come to believe that they are actually who they pretend to be, but be confused to why they needed to come in contact with Whit, Claire, and Simon and create something so complicated. Answers. They are who they portray, and not only are they affecting Howard, but helping all the others around him.
That's right.
Death talks to Simon, who is dying. Time talks to Claire, who is done trying to have a kid because she doesn't believe she has time. Love talks to Whit, who struggles because he feels like he is losing the love of his daughter and is trying to give up on her. Everything they are saying starts to now make sense, and the fact that Death talked to Howard's wife also makes sense.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it?
That was so beautiful.
Not even like a, so yeah, anyway.
That was beautiful. That was like Collateral Beauty, but the review.
I like
that
the bit about the gaming community.
Those gamers are at Collateral Beauty's throat yet again.
They're all like, Collateral Beauty, is that an FPS?
Luke, as always, a pleasure to have you
Thank you,
on
Ryan.
talking
Thank you,
about
Bartek.
another unappreciated masterpiece.
It's been good.
It's been beautiful collaterally.
What was the cause?
Luke appearing. That's the cause.
And the effect was beauty.
No, the effect was him being here all along.
Oh.
Guys, as always, you have been fantastic, amazing, wonderful listening people. We are on all the social medias except for MySpace and Instagram and Bebo and Tumblr, and well, Tumblr won't exist by the time this episode comes out.
Well,
hot take!
you would probably get, highlighted as not safe for work.
Yeah, we've got a lot of porn to post.
We got female presenting nipples.
Oh my god.
So we can't be allowed. Yeah, that's a thing, right?
Yes, I know, yes.
So,
this is very topical.
topical, this will age like fine wine next year.
Oh
when
my.
Tumblr is now called Chrysler. So, guys.
Well, they make car-themed blogs.
If you want to give us a review, give us one on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever platforming site allows it, because we're on all the podcasting platforming sites, from the Stitcher, the Google Play, the Spotify, Luke.
Wow,
We're on
really?
Spotify.
I
How
heart
about
the
that?
radio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
We're even on everyone's favorite, Stitcher.
Ah,
I was waiting for you to jump in and be like, well, obviously, right? Stitcher. Everyone loves Stitcher. We're on YouTube, on all of that. As always, guys, remember to be kind to each other.
And you said it earlier, but our email is spitandpolisheded@gmail.com.
Yes, it is.
What was the line, Luke?
I think this was a mistake.
Yeah.
You want me to build you up to that?
I was supposed to be the very last line.
Well, I'll build you up to it so it
Okay,
sounds
okay.
natural instead of being like, Luke, what was it
What?
again?
There
I
was-
think this is a mistake.
yeah, hang on.
So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
let's do this, okay? We're building up to Luke's dramatic cliffhanging line that will end the episode. So
Okay.
we need to build the atmosphere. Bartek and I will build the atmosphere.
All right, stop building.
So Bartek and I have just entered the room, but the light's not on.
Ryan, I'm going to turn on the light. Click! Ah, the light's on. Hey, Ryan, that episode we did just now, it was pretty good, but I actually have to admit, there was the part where I told you to shut the fuck about Star Trek. I'm really sorry about that. I regret completely.
Okay,
it was
great.
too mean. And you know what? Actually, the film I think we talked about it a little shit. Come to think of it, but we had a good point about the time guy. But except, I don't think we did him justice.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with that.
And I just realized I'm speaking and I'm not really giving you a chance to speak.
That's
so
okay, man, because
man.
I've got so much to say about Star Trek now that you've apologized for.
Oh,
Dude,
oh, maybe
there's
I
a bit.
shouldn't have.
There's a bit in Star Trek. There's an actual episode. This is a great episode, by the way, in which Reg Barkley, who's he's afraid of everything. He's in the transporter beam and he sees a thing inside the transporter beam, and he's convinced there's an alien monster inside of the transporter, like when you're being transported. And it takes the whole episode for them to figure out, yes, there is indeed monsters inside the transporter beam. It's just such a great episode.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
You know,
good.
I'm just-
Are you done? So
I was waiting for Luke to cut in and be like,
well, I mean, Ryan. At least you've talked about Star. There's nothing else to say.
no,
so-
there's nothing else to
yeah.
say. I think we
Yeah.
really nailed this one on the head there. You know?
They did remind me of an episode of Saved by the Bell, though, where
Ah, fuck.
Screech thought that he was an
I
alien.
think this was a mistake.